said he would, and gives it to other people to go and play. But as I said, I think Hayden's got a big future. What I've seen, I like. I think a lot of people do. You can see that he was brought up the right way, and he could have it. He's not sloppy. He just does it. He plays the game properly. And I think he's been a good sign, and I think he's been a real good sign. Interestingly, I was doing my the train spotting with Brentford. And Brentford is Nico Ioannis, midfield player, and also Daniel Bentley, the young keeper they signed from Southend. I've got a couple of kids who were probably on. He's been a good sign, and I think he's been a real good sign. Interestingly, I was doing my train spotting with Brentford. And Brentford is Nico Ioannis, midfield player, and also Daniel Bentley, the young keeper they signed from Southend. I've got a couple of kids who were probably on. He's been a good sign, and I think he's been a real good sign. Interestingly, I was doing my train spotting with Brentford. And Brentford is Nico Ioannis, midfield player, and also Daniel Bentley, the young keeper they signed from Southend. I've got a couple of kids who were probably on. He's been a good sign, and I think he's been a real good sign. Interestingly, I was doing my train spotting with Brentford. And Brentford is Nico Ioannis, midfield player, and also Daniel Bentley, the young keeper they signed from Southend. I've got a couple of kids who were probably on. He's been a good sign, and I think he's been a real good sign. And that was Ratchet Benitez speaking yesterday. We'll hear a little bit more from him before kick-off. But Mitrovic and solving the Mitrovic question, as he admitted there, is probably the one that keeps him up at night most. You know, you've got a big money signing there. He goes away, gets a couple of goals for his country. And it's interesting, I mean, today, Dwight Gale, 7 goals for Newcastle United. Scott Hogan, 7 goals for Brentford. Hogan's been at Stocksbridge Steel, Hyde United, Halifax. They're talking about him in the same way that they talked about Vardy. His brothers, the captain at Gateshead. It's a rags to riches story. Gale's been at Bishopsthorpe, Staines, Dagenham and Redbridge. Again, rags to riches. You know, but they're scoring goals. It doesn't matter, you know, how big that signing on fee was. If you're not scoring goals and you're a striker, you're not getting in the team. Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what you get paid to do. You get paid to put the ball in the back of the net. Gale's done it 7 times. You know, you look at him and you think, well, maybe he should have more goals in the chances that he's had. I think Mitrovic is going to have to play this time. He's going to have to wait for his chance. You know, we've spoken to people. We've heard people say, oh, well, why didn't he play the 2 and why didn't he play 2 up top? I think, 12 games in, I think we've got to resign ourselves to the fact that he doesn't want to do that. You know, and the argument around from why should he's found the system that works. And he also made the point there that he's got 2 for each position, which is as good as telling you 2 of them are going for 1 position. Yeah. I mean, you've got Darryl Morphy there as well, who we signed, who can't find a place on the bench. Well, he's injured at the minute. He's injured at the minute, yeah. But you know, prior to him getting injured, he couldn't find a place on the bench. So you know, there's people for places. You can't play them all. He's got to decide. He's the man who picks the team. He's the one who makes the changes. And as we said earlier, you can't fault him on so far because all the changes he made up to now all work. Absolutely, Brentford 1 defeat in their last 7. Scott Hogan is very much their top man, and like Gale, he's got a hat-trick this season. His is against Preston, Gale against Norwich, and he's also got 2 against Brighton, Gale 2 against Reading, and Brighton was their only away win this season, Brentford. That, though, wasn't impressive enough.
Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon. A reminder, we've split frequencies today here on BBC Newcastle. So Newcastle versus Brentford is on DAB at 14:58 AM, and Sunderland's match at Stoke is on FM. Elsewhere in football, Chelsea are at home to Premier League champions Leicester in the lunchtime kickoff in the Premier League. The final whistle's just gone, actually, and Chelsea have won by 3-0. He scored twice in the first half through Diego Costa and Eden Hazard, and Victor Moses added the final goal 10 minutes from the end. Leicester are 13th in the table, 8 points from 8 Premier League matches. At 3 today, leaders Manchester City host Everton. Second place Spurs are at West Brom, while third place Arsenal host Swansea, who are managed for the first time today by Bob Bradley. The American's full of praise for his opposite number Arsenal defender.
And had the chance to coach against some pretty big names. The fellow in the last game, but Arsenal right there with the top managers, and to be in a club for 20 years where the football that's been played is such a reflection of the man. This is a fantastic thing.
The other game at 3 is Bournemouth against Hull, and the 5:30 kickoff sees Crystal Palace entertain third bottom West Ham. Championship leaders Huddersfield play Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Second top Norwich host Rotherham, and if they fail to win and Newcastle get 3 points, the Magpies will go top on goal difference. Cardiff beat Bristol City 2-1 last night in Neil Warnock's first game in charge, and Nottingham Forest won 3-1 against Birmingham at City Ground. Carlisle are at home to Hartlepool in League 2 this afternoon. Meanwhile, Gateshead begin their FA Cup campaign. The Aspens team have gone to Derbyshire to play Alfreton Town from the National League North. The winners will reach the first round proper.
I think every non-league manager is the same. They want to do well in the FA Cup. You can't sort of try and play down the importance of FA Cup, not just from a financial point of view, with the prestige that it can bring. You can get a good run. The teams that you can end up playing. It's a massive competition.
Well, BBC Newcastle's Paul Dixon travelled with the Gateshead squad and joins us now. Good afternoon, Dicker.
Hello, Matthew.
They go into this on the back of 2 excellent wins in the league, so the mood on the bus down must have been good.
Well, the mood was very, very good, and I'm delighted that they got those victories against Tranmere and Dover, and it set them up very nicely. It's a lovely setup here, Matthew. The sun's out. I'm just about to take my jacket off. It's too hot. Pitch is beautiful. Slight slope on the pitch, but I think Gateshead are right up for it. I mean, speaking to that chairman, Richard Bennett, the manager on the bus coming down there, they're very, very hopeful that we can get a result. What they want to do is be in the hunt for Monday night, Matthew.
It's 2 seasons since Gateshead reached round 3, where they played West Brom at the Hawthorns.
We were there.
Yeah, how much does the club need another good cup run for the exposure and the finances it can bring?
Well, the chairman would love that to happen. I mean, to get a big team on TV, and maybe sit home and get a big crowd there. That would be marvellous. But obviously the manager, he's wants to concentrate on the league. But the big distraction is the FA Cup. And Matthew, the day we went to West Brom, I mean, for 43 minutes, Gateshead were as good as West Brom, and there was a good 1,000, 1,500 Gateshead fans there. It galvanises everybody within Gateshead to come and support their team if you get a run in the cup.
And Gateshead's man at the moment is Sam Jones, an attacking midfielder who they signed from Alfreton, their opponents today in the summer. I know he's someone that you're looking forward to seeing because he's got goals in him.
Well, he has. I mean, they've been struggling Gateshead to get goals, but it's nice that Sam Jones has stepped up to the plate and he got 2 goals against Dover. He's very, very excited about doing well this afternoon. It would be great if he got the winner. Just to mention of the team, Matthew, Adam Wrightson, the very exciting winger that they have. I mean, he's not, but he looks about 15, as you well know. Very, very tricky winger. I mean, he's on the subs bench today, and I think Neil Aspens is looking forward to maybe getting him on sometime to see how he can do. But he can really run at people and cause panic in the defence.
Thanks very much, Dick. I know you're not the FA Cup, so enjoy today's game. Paul Dixon there watching Gateshead's 4th qualifying round time at Alfreton. Merrick are at Stirling in Scottish League 2, and looking ahead to the non-league fixtures in the North East. Today, here is Barry Heinsohn.
The last remaining Northern League side in the FA Cup this afternoon at Bishop Auckland, they travel to Edgeton Park to take on Stockport County. My Spartans face a daunting challenge away to 3rd place Hensford Town in the Premier League. While our feature match in the 1st division of the Northern League takes me to Craig Park, where Auckland Town will be defending their 100% home record against 2nd place South Shield. It's also a top of the table clash in the 2nd division, without being the team of Falcon and top of the Newcastle Utd. We bring you all the results and reaction in our local football roundup this evening at around 5:45.
In rugby union, Newcastle Falcons were beaten 45-0 by Ospreys in the European Challenge Cup. Director of Rugby, Dean Richards, who made 13 changes to his team, acknowledged the Welsh side and put on an impressive display.
That's put a lot of pressure on in the first half, and I was disappointed. But fair dues to them. Their accuracy is absolutely not something of best quality. They took a real Gallon and Jones, boys like that. When we didn't get with our strongest side today, so we accept that. But at the same time, for our boys, it's a bit of a lesson in standing actually for things and going in with the accuracy.
In tennis, Andy Murray's taken the first set in his Shanghai Masters semi-final against Gilles Simon. Earlier, Novak Djokovic lost to the Spaniard Roberto Bautista Agut. Today sees British Champions Day at Ascot, the country's richest race day, which boasts prize money of more than £4 million. The Aidan O'Brien-trained fillies Found and Minding, along with the French superstar Colt Almanzor, are among the big names in action. In basketball, Newcastle Eagles have lost for the first time this season. They were beaten 88-78 at home by London Lions last night in the BBL Championship. The Eagles led by 5 points in the final quarter, but a run of 14 points from the Lions gave them victory. Here's Newcastle guard Orlan Jack.
We brought it back and we took the lead. We were up by a little bit. Our running game was working, but then something happened. We just stopped hitting shots. And like you said, it's a game of runs. Once we stopped hitting shots, they went on their run. And it was a crucial game for us to run.
And the Eagles are down to second in the table. This is BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Between 5 and 6, we'll have a phone in, and we want your calls on today's games. Gary Bennett and John Anderson will be staying with us after the matches, and we'll bring you dressing room reaction as well. Remember, you can get in touch anytime through Twitter at BBC Newcastle or Facebook. BBC Newcastle Total Sport is the title of our page. Now, we've split frequencies today because Sunderland and Newcastle are playing at the same time. The home game, Newcastle versus Brentford, is on DAB at 14:58 AM. The away match, Stoke against Sunderland, is on our FM frequencies. And we've got more build-up to kick off next.
This week on the show, Early Joy and Anna Foster at breakfast.
We celebrated as Newcastle Gateshead won the bid to host the Great Exhibition of the North. It's a real joy and pride in the city, but it's as well as using that looking solid. And we heard that last year there were nearly 30,000 hospital admissions from people having allergic reactions. I've never taken to tea bags. If I make negative don't touch my hands and then touch my face, I will literally get scratch marks. I'll need more great stories of North East Life all next week when you wake up. BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East.
Colback looks up, slides it into Shelby. Shelby's got Atsu and Anita. Gives it to Anita. Anita's ball in round the back. You're in front, volley. Kicked out somehow on the line. And then blocked his second attempt. Well, Johan Gudfrand denied. Now Shelby edge of the area. Over the top of the crossbar. Christian Atsu will want to come back on his left. Does come back on his left. Bends it in. What a goal. What a goal. Christian Atsu. First Newcastle United goal. Ball played wide by John Shelby. And Christian Atsu, the Ghanaian international, on loan from Chelsea, has just dropped that shoulder, bent that ball, and bent it beyond Lee Camp, Diaby. Here's Gale, gives it back to Diaby. Atsu's ahead of him. Atsu's in behind him. He can get there. Atsu takes it on. Save low down by Lee Camp. Can't quite control it. Anita steaming it does. Pulls it back to Diaby. Blocked on the way through. Corner kick. Well, it's an opportunity, a real opportunity. Here's the corner kick to be taken by Brown again. Towards the near post. Hit the post. They hit the post with a diving header. It was a corner kick right outside. The header against the crossbar. And the slug works for safe Newcastle.
She understand that the others when they have to more about what they have grown, they didn't have clear sense of that and that, sometimes we have to but top game, just way the first players after the victory the other day, and we get this.
North East Sport, Nick Laws and Black and White legend John Anderson.
BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East.
And welcome back to St James's. Those are the highlights of a rare meeting with Rotherham. This is an even rarer one against Brentford, despite the fact that Brentford were founded back in 1899, and Newcastle, of course, go back further than that. This is only the 4th ever league meeting on Tyneside. It's the first here in 23 years. Those of you of a slightly older persuasion will remember, like Leonardo, Rob Lee's dramatic goal that was actually chalked up for offside against a Brentford player when Rob Lee was scoring from inside his own half. And if you ever wonder why this new offside ruling that we have frustrates people, if actually that offside ruling had been in place in 1993, Rob Lee's goal would have stood, because the flag wouldn't have been raised against the Brentford player behind him until he touched the ball. So Rob Lee would have had one more to his Newcastle tally. They played here more recently than that, back in 2001 in a League Cup tie, which Newcastle won comfortably. Shearer and Amiobi up top. That night, Vasadas and Acuna in centre midfield. Wayne Quinn played at left back. It was a makeshift 11, but certainly still had the likes of Shearer, Solano, Robert, Aaron Hughes played at centre back, Stevie Harper in goal. But they don't come here too often. Brentford, Newcastle have made just the one change, as mentioned, from that win at Rotherham. Jose Perez in for Mohamed Diaby. Matt Ritchie is ill. So Christian Atsu keeps his place in the side. May well have kept him anyway, we don't know. Brentford, a couple of changes. Lewis McLeod and Ryan Woods come in. Harley Dean and John Egan at centre-back, two ever-present. And up top, their top scorer, Scott Hogan, 7 goals, £750,000 from Rochdale. 7th in the table, Lando. Clearly got something about them. But again, as we probably say most weeks in this division, Newcastle go about it properly. There's no reason why they don't win the game.
No, absolutely. They haven't been great on the travel tour. Well, they've only got the one win. Brentford, I should say. Just listening to the Rotherham game. But yeah, and the one win that they had away from home was impressive. You know, going to Chris Hughes, right, and winning. Yeah,
And got a draw at Villa as well.
Yeah, but look, it won't be easy. I don't think there's any easy games in this division. I suppose the only thing you'd say, it's as easy as you can make it for yourself. You know, if you go about it the right way, as you say, if you do things properly, you start at a good tempo on, you can make things easy for yourself. But if you start sloppily and don't go about it right, as we did here against Wolves, you know, when too many people were having off days, you know, if you get days like that, it can be very, very difficult. I mean, Brentford will come here and they'll look at it and think, oh, we got nothing to lose. You know, big crowd, great stadium to come and play in. We'll go, we'll give it a go. If it's good enough, it's good enough. We'll make life very, very difficult for Newcastle. But as you rightly say, we go about it the right way. We should have 3 points come 25 or whatever time it is.
Going back to the aforementioned Rotherham, if you want a form guide by terms of rule of thumb, Rotherham are one of the 3 teams who beat Brentford at home this season. Brentford went to the New York Stadium and lost 1-0, so Newcastle have done what Brentford couldn't do at Rotherham. They line up with Daniel Bentley in goal, the former Arsenal trainee, Maxime Collin, a former Troyes and Anderlecht fullback, who will have played at Anderlecht with both Chancellor Mbemba and Alexander Mitrovic. Egan and Dean, the skipper, the 2 centre-backs, very much tried and tested. Andreas Valen is a Danish left-back who they paid £2 million for. He's actually their club record signing, and he's a left-back, so you quite understand the logic in that one. Lewis McLeod comes in alongside Nico Yanaris, and then Josh Clark, Romain Sawyers, and Ryan Woods, who comes in. And then up top, Scott Hogan, as we've already mentioned, 7 goals this season. But actually, nobody in 2016 has scored more goals in the Championship than Hogan. He's got 14 goals in 18 games since coming back from a cruciate injury. As I say, his brother is the skipper of Gateshead. The link there is that Neil Aspin, who was manager at Halifax, had both Scott Hogan and Liam Hogan at Halifax. Neil Aspin now, of course, is the manager of Gateshead, and he's taken one of the Hogans with him to the International Stadium. The other one is clearly doing something right. And I have to say, I love these stories, and in a strange way, in the same way that you used to go to Premier League games and look forward to seeing, say, Aiden Hazard for the first time. I'm looking forward to seeing this Hogan and just seeing, is there somewhere a production line of English players in the, following on the Vardy, the Gales, this kid Hogan? You just don't know, do you?
Well, you don't, and I mean, Brentford have taken a chance on him. And
he's, what, 7 goals this season. I have to say, I'm looking forward to seeing him as well, because the Republic of Ireland are tracking him, trying to get him to declare for them. So I'd be interested to see how he does here today. I hope he doesn't do too well. I hope he plays well, but I hope things don't go great for him. But yeah, I'm a bit like you. I like the stories like this. I think it's good for the game as well, Nick, because these boys, they know what the hard stuff's all about. Having to go to work and come home from work and then go and train 2-3 nights a week, whatever, and then come in from work and travel to games and one thing and another. And I think it makes them appreciate it a little bit more. They've seen the tough times, they know what the hard times are all about, they've worked hard to get where they are, and I think it makes them appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, 7-goal shootout between Scott Hogan and Dwight Gale. The referee, incidentally, this afternoon is Simon Hooper. If you think you vaguely remember that game, you'll be thinking about the Fulham game, first game of the season, and, well, at least one absolutely nailed on Newcastle penalty for handball that wasn't given. As a result, they lost their first game of the season. Well, Simon Hooper was the referee that night, and they've got him again today. Simon Hooper, Newcastle United against Brentford. Jack Colback has kept his place in the Newcastle side. He's been one of a number who've been left at home while others go away on the international break. But was it a good time or a bad time to have a break?
Bad time, really.
Give us your assessment of how well or how indifferently or how badly or whatever you think you started the season.
I think it's been an okay start. Obviously, it's been difficult. Something we usually just walk to sleep and do that. We have tried to do it. Turn up win games, but we know it's not like that. I'm sure that on the first game, obviously, that's some of these guys that we lost that, we kind of realised that it wasn't going to be easy. So I just from that, just like show strength.
As you say, you got that early wake-up call with the first couple of games, and then went on a nice run. But was the Wolves game the most disappointing of the opening weeks of the season?
Yeah, I think so, but I think that sums up the league, really. It's, every game brings different challenges, obviously one week where football get the ball down and we're kind of just for that, and then the next week we're going to team will go very direct and you kind of get everything under the boxes, corners, free kicks, everything. It just shows that no games are given, every game's a tough game, and if we're not working hard, then
It's interesting you said what you said there, because I was trying to think the other day, thinking back to 2009, 2010, when Newcastle won that championship, and you've had experience of this league as well. Do you think it's changed in recent years? It strikes me that an awful lot more teams seem to want to play football more than they did once upon a time.
yeah, I think so, yeah. There's a lot of volume in this league, Whereas in this league we've got Premier League experience. I think football in general, not just the Championship, the Premier League, all the leagues, it's got harder, it's got tougher, it's faster, it's quicker. Obviously, it's very demanding now. Like I said, you've got to be at it every game. If you switch off for 1 second, then you can lose any game. They're coming down. Just go over the 40, 60 on average.
And I suppose we shouldn't be surprised when you think about the prizes up for grabs and the money that's up for grabs, I say just, for getting out of that division and into the Premier League. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's amazing that more people are throwing more money at Championship clubs.
Yeah, it's it. The money on offer is it's huge, especially with the TV money on now. Everyone wants to win the Premier League. Everyone wants to try and get the club in the Premier League to get that reward, I suppose. But we've got the other thing, 14, 15 teams in the Championship, probably to have a chance, so it's very competitive. We saw that already.
St James's Park.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
And that was Jack Colback talking all things Championship. Some interesting things that he said there. The fact that the quality's got better. As I say, I don't think we should be surprised by that, bearing in mind the prizes that are up for grabs. But also mentioned there that the home and away record, Ando. I mean, obviously you've got a situation where they've lost more games at home than they have away from home. You look at the goals conceded, 2 away from home, 8 at home. And yet, Jack Colback said it there in a roundabout way. Rafa has said it in a roundabout way. I don't, from recollections of games here this season, I don't necessarily think everybody's turned up and part the book. No. I don't remember games where Newcastle have been stifled and teams have just played no football at all.
Yeah, I think, well, certainly Huddersfield came here and did a job on us, mate, because they set up, they had players with pace in the side, they let us come onto them. Now that isn't parking the bus because they had a plan and they let us come onto them, and then they broke in numbers and they broke with pace and they got the goals. And I don't think teams have come here and tried to sit it out for 90 minutes and see if they could get anything out of it. I think when they've had the opportunities to go forward, I think that's exactly what they've done. I mean, you look at Norwich. Norwich came, they were open. They got forward, they scored 3 goals. Brighton, even though we beat Brighton comfortably, they came and they tried to get forward.
Well, I think what Norwich discovered as well is that actually, in many ways, trying to park the bus is the wrong way to go about it. I mean, they played no football at all until Newcastle took the lead. As soon as they played football, before they knew it, they were 3-1 up in the game.
Yeah, and then they were 3-1 up, and then instead of keep doing what they were doing, they tried to hang on to what they had, and if you're not good enough defensively to do that, you're going to get caught out. That's exactly what Norwich found out. And it always amazes me, I agree with you. I think up to the first goal, Norwich never tried to get, all of a sudden they came out, they picked it about, they went 3-1 up, and you thought, well, just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. It amazes me why teams don't, whether it's a mental thing or whatnot, but just keep doing what's got you the success. Why try and change?
Which is what Huddersfield did.
Yeah.
And what Huddersfield have clearly not stopped doing.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying what Huddersfield won't last, but they keep doing it. They keep winning. They keep going about it the right way. And the longer that goes, the greater your confidence becomes, and you get that little bit of belief, and that hang on a minute, maybe but even so, you still expect them to hit a wall, don't you?
Well, what you expect them to do is struggle with their size of squad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think it's interesting that Villa have been bold enough to get rid of Di Matteo, get Steve Bruce in, got a track record of promotion. But more than that, Villa, like Newcastle, have the safety net of January, when you just know they'll go out and spend.
Yeah, I agree. And
Huddersfield can't do that.
I think the Bruce signing of Villa's a good one. He's been there. 4 promotions he's got, so he knows how to do it. He knows how to get the job done. He knows what's needed to get out of this division. And even though Villa are, I think 10 points behind us, I still think come the end of the season they won't be too far away.
Yeah, interestingly, last night Cardiff 2, Bristol City 1. Neil Warnock's first game in charge. Forest beat Birmingham 3-1. Huddersfield don't play until tomorrow. They entertain Sheffield Wednesday. Aston Villa, incidentally, is a 5:30 kick-off at home to Wolves. And Villa, actually, although they're 20th in the division, haven't lost at home this season. 1-1 and drawn 4. But Bruce could be an inspired appointment for Aston Villa. The 3 o'clock kick-offs in the Championship. Barnsley, Fulham, Blackburn, Ipswich, Brighton, Preston, Derby, Leeds with Steve McLaren very strangely in charge and without a home win all season. Norwich against Rotherham. If Norwich do anything other than win and Newcastle win here, Newcastle will be top tonight. And QPR, Reading, Wigan, Burton, the other 2 fixtures this afternoon. Let's hear from John
Joe Shelby, who admitted that during the international break there weren't too many bodies around. But it's a league though where you need, probably quite like, a little breather every now and then. Yeah, I think we played seven games or something in the last little period, so it's tough than that, but probably time shorter than what it is in the Premier League. But if you want more games, rather than their games and trade skills, that's what you build up to week out. So the breaks are ideal, but then obviously sometimes you do need that rest and recovery period. Having said that, as someone who's been an international footballer pretty recently, you must still also be thinking to yourself, I wish I was away. Yeah, you do. Although you do get to spend football time at home, you can travel that, but in your ideal situation, you want to be away from it. Obviously, it wasn't for me this time, but for us to I'm going to say, it brings us nicely onto the fact that the way you're playing at this moment in time, yes, you're in the Championship, yes, it's not ideal, but the way you're playing, you must be happy with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just that playing at the minute, I think that's the main thing. I'm just trying to get consistency in my game, and of course, it's coming down, and I've got to do that with games, obviously, a lot of support, a lot of faith, Has your mood changed? The manager went on record a little while ago saying the thing about you was to sort of make sure your head's right. Physically you've got yourself right. You've obviously got an immense amount of talent, but it's sometimes what's going on in your head. Yeah, I mean sometimes I do drop my head a little bit up and down when you're not playing, but I think that's normal for any footballer. But one time on the rack as well, you have to stay positive and keep yourself fit and keep yourself going. And we've done that before the start of the season. Obviously, I'm still a bit down with that, but was that, do you think this is down to you, or down to him, or down to a bit of that? And the two of you sat down, trying to get your head around it. I mean, I sat down in the sunlight, like 3 or 4 days away from my training in the summer. And it's probably straight up on the end, you go back to London, some of them, come back to Europe for 5 weeks, and then train every day. I had a meeting with, sat down and had a meeting with Brentford, and with help going forward, and something like that, so it was talk as well that you're actually getting your own fitness people in and working, on your own with somebody to get it right. Yeah, it's quite from we're all, it's from practice area, and all past these top sports science, if you like, national training, so it's going well, and you've got these training. It weren't so much just dropping the weight, it was all like sat down with Brentford, still working on. I presume you've been in the benefits. Yeah, I'm still probably been in
Whenever Newcastle and Sunderland play at the same time,
The away game will be on FM and Preview Channel 719, and the home game is on DAB and AM.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
Hi, welcome back to St James with a big contingent from Brentford here this afternoon. But interestingly, Ando, listening to John Joe Shelby, the fittest he's ever been, and we'd heard this story already about him getting a trainer in the summer. Fair play to him.
Yeah, I mean, it was really strange when Rafa Benitez came here, of course, because when John Shelby signed, everybody was good sign, good player. And then he came and he
couldn't get the side. Benitez wouldn't play him. And obviously, Penny dropped with him, and he thought, hang on.
Well, especially when Benitez had signed him at Liverpool.
Yeah, and he obviously took it on board, and he's gone, and he's worked at it, he's got himself right, and his performances lately have been excellent. And you know, we've said all along that he should be standing out in this division, he should be running games, and that's exactly what he's doing at this moment in time.
You know, that said, I mean, you know, they're never a million miles away from full fitness anyway, professional footballers, but he does concede, he's lost a few kilograms, and he's probably a bit sleeker and a bit meaner. But he also admitted that with him, it's what's going on in his head.
Yeah,
And I think that has always been the case.
Yeah, I think that's always been the case. You're always worried about what was happening inside his head, what his mindset was, you know, what he was thinking. And you just think when his mind is right, when his mind is on the game and he's fully focused, you know, he's a very, very good player. But when he loses focus and he gets away from it, that's when he goes missing.
Yeah.
And I think Benitez has done a good job with him. He's obviously got his mind focused in the right areas, on the right things, and he's paying dividends at the moment.
John Joe Shelby keeps his place. Just the one change for Newcastle, Jose Perez for Mohamed Diarmi. Other than that, it's the same 11, which beat Rotherham by a goal to nil. It was picked by Rafa Benitez. We've already spoken about the fact that they've lost more here at home this season than they have away. But is that home form a problem for the gaffer? So I think it's when you play at home, it's more difficult because teams are waiting, and some players they feel the pressure that outside because waiting for something, especially when they have to do understand one of the top players is important. So that is the main thing. Everybody feels happy. There's a role. That is the way to manage it. Well, it's been said many times here, and I'm sure it's been said many, many times at Anfield, San Siro, about, you know, as good as it is for you, the stadium, it can also be a bit of a, I don't know, a hindrance to your players if they start feeling that expectation, if they start feeling that, you know, the main thing for us, that we should see what happens, start with the games. High intensity, high tempo, and then control the game, attacking, system of the attack. So if the fans feel that we are going there again, so you don't try to see what happens, or try to win right. So we have to be sure we be there. They are before we're strong, defensive, winning games for them. I think they need to be a little bit braver at home, a little bit more offensive. No, if you analyze the number of chances that we create normally, we create a lot of chances.
next.
Welcome back to St James's. It's a little bit quiet. It's been a little bit subdued, the build-up, whether the international break has taken the wind out of one or two sails. It's a good contingent from Brentford. I mean, they're not the best supported club in the world at home, but here, a million miles from Griffith Park, they've just about got their full allocation of 3,000 plus up in the gods. Match referee Simon Hooper, for the second time this season, leads out Newcastle United. Brentford in a changed strip of blue, Newcastle black and white striped shirts, and just the one change, Jose Perez. They've got Caldalo in goal, back four of Vernon Anita, Jamal Lascelles, Kieran Clark and Paul Dummett, Jack Colback and John Joe Shelby, Johan Guthrad, Perez, Christian Atsu and Dwight Gale. On the bench, Matt Sells, DeAndre Yedlin, Mitrovic, Lazard, Hanley, Hayden and Diami. The missing Matt Ritchie is ill, so sadly the Scottish international misses out. Otherwise, I suspect he may well have been in the starting 11. Brentford have Daniel Bentley in goal. A back four of Maxime Collin, the Frenchman, John Egan, the Cork man, Harley Dean and Andreas Phelan, Lewis McLeod, Nico Yanaris, Ryan Woods, Romain Sawyers, Josh Clark and Scott Hogan. On the bench, Saunders, McEachran, McCormack, Bonham the keeper, Kirsch Baumer, Ty Kay and Barbette. So the two sides, as I say, Brentford in a change strip, Newcastle is very familiar and black and white. Brentford one defeat in 7. That was an away setback at Wolverhampton Wanderers. They are unbeaten at home. Newcastle one defeat in 11 in all competitions and out. And no reason why they shouldn't make that one win, one defeat in 12, I should say.
No, not at all. Home advantage. Brentford had a decent start to the season. It's gone pretty well for them. But as we said earlier, we talked about this earlier. You just think if you go about it the right way, a little bit like we see at Rotherham. Rotherham with a lot of the ball, but teams just haven't got the quality. Rotherham didn't have anybody in their side with the quality that Atsu had to score the type of goal that he's got. And that's going to be the difference between us and a lot of sides in this division this season. It's that extra little bit of quality that you've got.
Brentford will go into a huddle, all blues, and the goalkeeper Dan Bentley, all red. Newcastle black and white stripes with Carl Darlow, all green. This is the 6th championship game here at home, and the Gallagher flags just get less and less and less and less. In fact, I'm not sure there are any at all left. So the Gallagher flags, great idea that it was. Spectacular for one game, not bad for the second. Didn't last long. It's not lasted. Those Gallagher flags are somewhere else, and they're not at the Gallagher Den being waved at this moment in time. The ball is at the feet of Scott Hogan, this striker who we're all looking forward to seeing, who's not the biggest in the world, but stockier than Dwight Gale, but of a similar height to Gale. And Simon Hooper gets us underway. Missed a couple of glaring penalties at Fulham on the opening night of the season. Let's hope he has a better afternoon today. The whole 90 minutes live and exclusive on BBC Newcastle, number 1458 and DAB. If you want Sunderland, they are on the FM frequency, and that's Stoke against Sunderland, the away team on FM here. At home, 1458 medium wave and DAB. We're also live on nufc.co.uk. The ball has gone down one end of the pitch, and now, courtesy of Carl Darlow, it goes down the other, and both keepers have had a touch. Ball sent on its way, looking to find Josh Clark. Picked up in centre midfield, played through to Hogan, who knew he was offside. Ball was being played by Lewis McLeod, one of the two changes for Brentford. Ball is flicked on by Jose Perez, the only change for Newcastle United. And contested on halfway. Jack Colback wins it, gives it to Atsu. Atsu started on that right-hand side. We've talked about it before. Likes to cut in. Newcastle win it back. Perez into Gale. Gale to the dead ball line, tried to pull it back. Too many blue shirts there, and in the end, locked on the way through. Brentford have themselves a throw in, but early warning signs for Brentford. They shouldn't be giving the ball away on the edge of their own area. It is a throw which left back Bayland will take. Danish international who was at Euro 2012, didn't make the last World Cup. It cost 2 million from FC20. Now clears downfield, the same player. Plenty of time for Jamal Lascelles to pick it up. Gives it to Carl Darlow. Earlier in the Premier League, Chelsea beat Leicester 3-0. Last night in the Championship, Cardiff beat Bristol City 2-1. Forest beat Birmingham 3-1. Newcastle can go top, but they have to win here. And Norwich have to fail to win at home to Rotherham, who lost 5 straight away. Ball inside the centre circle. Again, McLeod and Colback challenge for it. Ball stabbed forward. Picked up and turned away by Ryan Woods, who turns into trouble, then lays hands on Gouffran. Ryan Woods, nicknamed by his former fans at Shrewsbury the Ginger Pirlo, which was of course the nickname that Alan Pardew famously once gave to Jack Colback. So a couple of Ginger Pirlos on the pitch. Shelby looking, yeah it was, good ball out wide, intended for Paul Dummett. Dummett was just caught on his heels. The ball was a bit fierce as well. In the end, ran out of play for a throw-in. Throw to Brentford. Just about level with their own 18-yard box. Right-hand side, lobbed up the line by Maxime Collin. Teammates Arnold Denver and Mitrovic and Anderlecht. Newcastle have it back. Atsu picks it up. Puts his foot on it, but only puts his foot on it to allow Brentford to clear. Was away with Ghana against Uganda and South Africa in the week. Now a ball in from McLeod, trying to find Hogan round the back. Now tidied up by Kieran Clark, ran out of space, trying to take on Lewis McLeod, the former Rangers man. Well, at least Hogan didn't measure that ball. There is the throw. McLeod with Clark. Clark picks it up. Shelby tries to win it. It runs loose. Here is Ryan Woods. Woods, who is sitting with McLeod further forward. The 2 changes. There he goes back and they build from deep on that far side. They forward. Picked up by Collin. Now it goes to Romain Sawyers. Sawyers ball edge of the area, cleared by Kieran Clark, who's got something on it rather than nothing at all. And Bayland takes the throw, gives it to Sawyers. Sawyers, a former Walsall man, Birmingham born international with some Kitts and Nevis. Here's Collin. Tries to play it back to Woods. It's ping-ponging all over the place and is finally collected by Jack Colback. Colback slides it into Shelby. Chance to move it. Atsu's wide on that right, so too is Vernon Anita. Anita gets it from Atsu. Anita gives it back to Shelby. Chance to cross. Now drives the cross. It's blocked on the way through by Yanaris. Now with Ryan Woods. Woods into centre midfield where Sawyers tried to play it forward, couldn't do so. Now Gouffran over the top, looking for the run of Dwight Gale, who did well, but Egan did just as well. Yeah, got across with him, John Egan, the former Sunderland man, to knock it away and out of play for a throw, quickly taken. Paul Dummett wins another throw, this time the cross blocked on this near side by Josh Clark. Been at Brentford for a while. Throw to be taken by Paul Dummett again. It's with Jose Perez from the throw. Is that Newcastle's? It is. Eventually out of play for throw in with Paul Dummett will take, lobbed to Gouffre. Gouffre got a nudge in the back from Woods, play onto the referee. Played back to Shelby. Shelby gets it back again. Spins it wide. Give it by Vernon Anita. Anita's got support from Atsu. Crosses first time. Header clear brought down by Shelby. Given to Atsu. Atsu, similar position. Drops it off wide and played into the box by Jose Perez and cleared. Joe Allen, who's got a few goals of late, has got another one. Stoke City 1, Sunderland 0 at the Bet365 Stadium. Here a throw into Newcastle, beginning to turn the screw on Brentford a little bit. Throw in midway inside the Brentford half. Not straight out of play though, but by Jose Perez and Barnsley take the lead against Fulham. Remember, Newcastle at the home well on Tuesday night. Barnsley going well enough at home. 3 wins, a draw and just the 1 defeat. Although Fulham, to be fair, haven't lost away from home this season. Here's Jack Colback to knock the ball back inside Brentford territory. Knocked on again. This time Lascelles clears. Header again. This time the referee feels it was an infringement on halfway. A free kick to Brentford, who have lost 3 times on their travels with just the 1 win, although it was a decent one at Brighton. Here's Woods to give it from this near side to Colin. Colin back in turn to Harley Dean, the skipper. Dean to Egan. Egan gets it back from Bayland on that far side. Now Newcastle winning. Good work by Dwight Gale. Gets a return ball and then tried to feed it into Perez, but Perez had already made the run through the inside right channel. Just got beyond the ball in the air. Brentford have it, play it over halfway. Scott Hogan with a touch. Here is Romain Sawyers. Sawyers flings it right hand side to Colin. Ball round the back. Hogan arriving over the top of the crossbar. Well, I'll tell you what, Rafa Benitez won't be too impressed with this. It was he who picked up the ball on halfway. It was he who moved the ball into centre midfield and then clearly has got on his bike and made the run. And by the time the cross came in, he'd run 40 yards without anybody following him, and in the end heads over the top of the crossbar. It's half a chance.
It's a good chance. It's awful defending. Yeah. You look at the take away your 2 centre-backs. You've got to get to the cross as well. You know, you can't have a touch, get it out of his feet. You've got to pressurise the ball. You've got to stop the delivery. But he's allowed to deliver it. Holmes there all on his own. There's not a black and white short anywhere near him. Should be hitting the target really from there.
Yeah, shake of the head from the 7-goal man knows he could, maybe should have done better. Now a foul on Johan Gouffre, which means free kick to Newcastle and the opportunity. Although it is a fair way left of centre, it's closer to the left corner of the 18-yard box than it is the centre and the middle of the penalty box. There's 1 or 2 clearly fancy it. Very definitely, if it's going to be an attempt at goal, a right footer.
No, it's not.
And as a result, because the 2 right footers have all walked away, it's going to be a cross, and a cross which Jack Colback undertakes.
That's what Shelby might fancy that, you know, because I know it's a fair way out, but he could wrap his foot around that one, couldn't he?
There's the cross from Colback. It's flat, it's hit the defender and is cleared by a defender. Dropped inside the centre circle. Nice kill by Anita. Gives it to Shelby. Plenty of body still in there. Shelby's cross. Round the back. It's a goal for Kieran Clark. Kieran Clark has headed home his 2nd Newcastle United goal. And just as we talked about a lack of marking from across at one end, exactly the same at the other end. And this time Newcastle benefit. They never got out from the initial free kick. It was cleared only as far as Anita. Anita feeds it to Shelby. Shelby puts it into an area. It misses out Dwight Gale, but stood behind Dwight Gale, Kieran Clark, and coming onto it, he just can't miss. He has to steer the ball, and steer the ball only beyond Daniel Bentley. We have played 10 minutes. Newcastle United 1, Brentford 0. Shelby down, had time to get it out of his feet. Decent delivery. I couldn't believe it. Lovely amount of space and room he had. As you say, didn't have to do a great deal with it. Just get it on target and the ball's going to end up on the back of the net. A lot of pace on the cross and he just guided it past the keeper with no chance. But yet again, marking non-existent.
Yeah, as I say, we'd run the risk of conceding one at one end from exactly the same sort of situation. This time in Newcastle's favour. Kieran Clark, who got his first at Queen's Park Rangers, has now got his first at St James's Park and just couldn't miss coming onto it. Dwight Gale will be a little bit frustrated he couldn't get a header on it, but what was Dwight Gale's misfortune in terms of the cross was very much the good fortune of Kieran Clark. And really, Dan Bentley is rooted to the spot, can't do anything about it. What the Newcastle do now is Lascelles stepping up on Hogan. The referee spotted something which I don't think anybody else has spotted. Brighton have taken the lead against Preston. Brighton 1, Preston 0. The Amex. So the side on Newcastle's coattails. But it's Brighton 0, Preston 1. So Preston taking a lead which helps Newcastle. And will doubtless please the former PNE man on my right hand side. Here's the free kick. It is to Newcastle. What it was for, we don't really know. It's lobbed in there. Clark and Lascelles with the targets again. This time Brentford defend properly and clear downfield. Hogan is beaten to it though by John Joe Shelby, who looks up. Atsu's made a run. Goes shorter still. It's a nice ball. Good ball by Dwight Gale. In behind for Atsu. Atsu might well run at his man on that far side. Atsu looking to work the opening. I don't quite know what he's trying to do there. I can't believe he's trying to shoot because the angle is too oblique, but he's moved it beyond Anders Bayland. And he then just needs to nick a cross in there. And he's got too much on the cross and not enough on the shot. And in the end, it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, he's done great. He's got the defender flat-footed, he's moved the ball. I think he's just trying to stand one up back post and he just got too much on it.
Yeah, but nice ball by Dwight Gale at the link play. Just to steer a ball in behind the fullback, and Atsu was on his bike and onto it. Goal kick from Dan Bentley. Drops towards halfway. Sawyers plays it forward. Lascelles into Gale. Gale stabs it back to Shelby. Nice ball square to Paul Dummett to Colback. Colback turns, gives it to Kieran Clark, the goal scorer. 10 minutes his goal, 14 minutes now. Newcastle United 1, Brentford 0, the whole 90. Live and exclusive on BBC Newcastle. Remember, if Newcastle win here and Norwich fail to beat Rotherham, Newcastle will be top tonight. If only for 24 hours. Huddersfield play Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Here's Jack Colback, gives it to Paul Dummett. QPR taking the lead against Reading. Goal to nil. Ball over the top, which Hogan is after. Darlow keeps his eye on the edge of his 18-yard box, and then there's a quick look at the linesman. This near side, Phil McDermott, within his box, and will roll it out. Kieran Clark gives it to Colback. Shelby to Lascelles. Lascelles looks up, thinks about the ball forward, and then knocks it square to Vernon Anita. Now Lascelles gives it to Shelby. Shelby in behind for Gale. Headed clear on as far as Atsu. Down to Gale. Gale turns, hits, scores! Turns, hits, scores. Awful defending by Brentford. Once again, they never dealt with the long ball downfield from John Joe Shelby. Headed it all the way up in the air. Atsu got temporarily involved, but again, defenders looking at one another. And he just picked it up and said, well, if you don't want it, I'll have it. And I'll spin, I'll turn, and I'll beat the keeper from no more than 10 yards. Dwight Gale's 8th of the season. There are big possibilities here for goals. 16 played, Newcastle United 2, Brentford 0.
Big possibilities if they keep defending the way they're defending, because they're not defending at all. It's absolutely shocking defending again. Ball played forward by Shelby. Good ball over the top. But you've got to deal with it. Two centre-backs have come very square. And they just didn't deal with the second ball either. Gale couldn't believe his luck. Get time to turn, have a touch, and stick it to the corner. I mean, awful defending again by Brentford. But we'll take it.
Yeah, I have to say, I almost said it before that second goal. They looked decidedly lacklustre, Brentford. And that's not going to change now that they're 2-0 down. And Newcastle, well, it's all about what they might or might not want it to be. Here's Vernon Anita back to Carl Darlow. We've talked before that maybe attack is the best policy of defence in terms of Newcastle. Absolutely no reason why they shouldn't continue having a go at Brentford, because they really do look there for the taking. Norwich have taken the lead against Rotherham. I don't think anybody would be totally surprised if Norwich beat Rotherham and denied Newcastle top spot. Here is Shelby up the line to Anita. Anita tries to bend the ball in to Jose Perez, who gives him the thumbs up. The applause for Messrs Alder and Sweeney after 17 minutes. 17 minutes which sees Newcastle 2 goals to the good. Perez tries to give a throw in back to Anita. There's another throw in. Throw which Anita will take again. Atsu close to it. The throw goes for Jose Perez. A little trick to get to the dead ball line. Pulls it back, blocked, corner kick. Corner kick to Newcastle. Up come Lascelles and Clark from the back. Anita and Colback drop back as cover. And Christian Atsu is the latest in the absence of Matt Ritchie to take corners. I hope this cross is better than the one he's produced in open play. Here is the corner. Atsu all the way along the ground. Well, it's obviously a pre-rehearsed move, but it didn't come off. Brentford clear it. Now John Joe Shelby goes all the way back from halfway, well, inside the Brentford half, all the way back to Carl Darlow. Darlow rolls it out to Colback. Colback looks up. In the end, decides to take on Lewis McLeod. Plays a 1-2, which doesn't bear fruit. Atsu's return ball rolls out of play. And now Brentford playing straight out of touch. And they've been gifted back possession of the ball. Give it straight back to Newcastle. Manager Dean Smith down below, 45 years of age. The former Walsall laureate and Sheffield Wednesday centre back. So keep looking at his watch one here. Joined them from Walsall. Here are Newcastle. Deep inside their own half. Nice work between Lascelles and Colback to play the ball out. Here's Kieran Clark, left hand side. Puts his foot on it, gives it to John Joe Shelby. Shelby to Clark. Gale and Dummett ahead of it. Dummett tries to give the ball back to Kieran Clark and misplaces the pass, and Nico Yanaris, the former Arsenal trainee, intercepts, but it ends up as a throw to Newcastle. Shelby square to Colback. Colback into Atsu. Atsu back again to Colback. Just a bit of pressure from Sawyers and Lascelles. Happy to go all the way back to Carl Darlow at the 20-minute mark. Leading 2-0, but now going back into keep ball mode. Shelby spins the ball wide, brilliant ball to find Vernon Anita. Anita, Atsu and Gale square of it. Anita delivers the cross. Flying Atsu tried to get there, the smallest on the pitch. Couldn't do so. Picked up by Newcastle again. Anita available. Gets it. Gives it offside. Flag is raised against Jose Perez, who should have known better. And again, an opportunity to go with Beckham. Yep. But you just feel it's there, don't you? Yeah. You know,
21 minutes, 22 minutes gone. Brentford have shown nothing. You just feel that if they keep going the way they're going, that this game could be out of sight by half time.
There is Bentley, the keeper, signed on a free for Southend, played over 200 games and broke club records while he was there. Was formerly at Arsenal as a trainee, and will know the likes of Isaac Hayden. Clears downfield. Now Hogan is offside, trying to play on the last man, Scott Hogan. And the flag raised immediately by Mr. McDermott on this near side. That'll be a free kick, which Jamal Lascelles will give to Carl Darlow. Darlow starting his 9th game of the season. The ball is on its way. Trying to find Gufran, beaten in the air by Harley Dean. Now Kieran Clark. Gufran's done well to get away from his man. Good ball. Gufran to find Gale. Little reverse ball in. Gufran coming onto it. Took a touch. Really should have hit it first time, I think. Now recycled. Here he is again. Deflected him in. Well, Jose Perez. They claim it either way. The referee has spotted something. Well, Gufran had one initial bite at the cherry. I'm sure Rafa Benitez is asking. I don't quite understand. Who does he say is handballed in Gufran? Gufran's nowhere near his hand.
Perez. I don't know. Did it come off Perez's arm?
No.
Well, he's seen something. He's definitely signalled handball.
Well, he's got to have given a handball against Perez, but it seemed to me to hit Perez on the shoulder. I mean, either way, Perez has got his back to it. He knows nothing about it, which is why I was just about to say, well, whose goal do you give that to? Because Gufran's shot was on target, and it just hit Perez. Either way, Gufran had a couple of bites of the cherry and should have actually finished himself, and finished a bit more emphatically. Here he is, wins the ball back, Shelby forward. Dean knocks it down, picked up by Ryan Woods. Woods into Sawyer. Reading have equalised at Loftus Road, QPR 1, Reading 1. As Alfred take the lead against Gateshead. Now the yellow card for Harley Dean, the skipper of Brentford. And again, this referee who was very, very difficult to understand at Fulham when he failed to give Newcastle one absolute stonewall penalty, and probably another against Fulham on the opening night of the season. Now,
Not sure what that's for. That yellow card.
No, not too sure why he scrubbed the goal up either, but we shall have to wait and see. Here is John Joe Shelby with the free kick. Sends it all the way wide. Bernard Anita brings it down. It's then forced away. Jack Colback picks up the loose ball into Gale. Back again to Colback, into Perez. Perez tries to pull it back. Perez then wins the corner kick. It's done well. Last touch was seemingly going to be off him. Managed to play it off the defender. And now wins a corner kick. Christian Atsu will again take it. Not short to offer him that option. Indeed, he does go short. Now we've got a better angle of delivery. It's a better ball as well. Headed clear at the end by Dean. Picked up by Shelby. Given back to Atsu. Atsu with Perez close to him. Decides to go on the outside of his man. Then wins it back. Still got bodies in the box. Atsu still going. In the end, pinched off him. Shelby can't win it back. Newcastle do have it. Now Shelby's got the chance to cross. Kieran Clark was in the middle. It's not a clear. Sawyers brings it down. Clears. Paul Dummett needed to get there and did get there. The clearance is picked up though by Collan. I think Gufran is going to be yellow carded. It's his first foul of the game. I don't see how he can think that that is cynical in any way, because there were plenty of bodies back.
Running up from behind, though, isn't it?
Well, it's just legged him up either way. One booking apiece for Simon Hooper. And a free kick which Brentford have moving. Woods
Gets away from one and then two. Plays it back to Dean. Dean square to Egan. The Republic at all levels through to the 21. Has got 3 goals this season. Ball played forward by Brentford. This time tidied up. On the far side by Colback. Up the line it goes. Somehow stays in. Atsu has it. Might well test the paces of those ahead of him. Instead, a little reverse ball which played without much conviction. Anita kicks it in brilliantly well. Gale gives it to Atsu. Atsu just needs to play. Look at me, yet again. Christian Atsu's completely overclubbed the ball. With the option of Jose Perez and Paul Dunn, just needed to roll.
He just needed to roll it into the path and done it.
Yeah.
He's gone for the more difficult ball. Even the more difficult one wasn't that difficult.
Now, sails over the head and trying to play for a throw in. Brentford take it up the line. Hogan has it. Turns. Leaves it to Sawyers. Almost gives it away to Perez. Harley Dean back to his keeper. Bentley over halfway. Lascelles header. Picked up by Atsu. Given back to Anita. Behind the side of halfway. The lights on the east stand, but it's a bright enough afternoon. Bit of cloud cover, but a decent afternoon. Shelby, nice ball into the feet. Perez, touch let him down. Pinched off him. Picked up by Brentford. They lose it again. Just can't keep it, Brentford. Here are Newcastle through Jack Colback. Colback players sniping at it. Gale gives it to Atsu. Atsu with Good and Anita in support. Anita slides it in, a lot of space inside the box to Gale. Drives the cross, clear. Atsu on his left, just wide. Well, he's gone for placement, I think. Just tries with his instep just to pass it into the back of the net, but got too much on it and wide of the frame of the goal. But Brentford just can't keep hold of the ball.
But they can't defend. I mean, it's just straight little run by Gale. Nobody tracked him. Pull back, and as you say, he's got to try and place it in that top corner. Just got a little bit too much on it. But there's goals here. Goals galore here.
Yeah, Gale's made a run, but absolutely no. And then when he turns, he rolls it into Atsu in all sorts of space. At the other end, the ball too strong. And Scott Hogan lets those behind him know exactly what he thinks of the service that he's getting. Dominic, good header. Wins it for Gouffran. Gouffran the chance to turn. Offside flag is raised. Rangers on that far side. Chris Akers. Free kick. Brentford play between themselves. A rare old meeting of Dean Smith and his coaching staff down below. There's 4 of them at it in the technical area. Doubtless trying to find a solution to the problem that they've had, or they have.
Difficult to see where to find them.
Exactly, and they're 2-0 down already. Ball played forward, little dummy, nice dummy as well by Hogan, but nobody else on the same wavelength as the 24-year-old. Downfield, little flick on. Cleared by Brentford. Only as far as Kieran Clark, scorer of the opening goal on 10 from John Joe Shelby's cross. The second from Dwight Gale, pretty much all his own work. The ball downfield sees Perez collide with Harley Dean. Referee wants nothing to do with it. The ball runs through to the keeper. Gives it to Colin. Right back into Woods. Woods to Josh Clark, but Newcastle win it back. Shelby's then caught in possession by Sawyers, offside against Scott Hogan. Again, Rafa Benitez asking 1 or 2 questions. To be fair, the players are asking 1 or 2 questions of each other as well, because they're just making life difficult for themselves.
Yeah, I mean it's a straight ball play for. Shelby's got nicked off him. He's got play forward. Hogan's made the run. You can see that he was well offside. Flag went up straight away. But yeah, we are making it. If anything, it's becoming a little bit too easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 14 minutes to the break. They lead 2-0, and Carl Darlow has it. Remember, Norwich lead Rotherham by a goal to nil in terms of those at the top. Header clear by Brentford. Only as far as Lascelles. Gives it to Colback. Colback back to Kieran Clark. Clark again happy to turn it all the way back to Carl Darlow. Darlow then turns it to his centre back. Crowd in 50,000 plus again here today for a Championship fixture against Brentford. Is some turnout again as little flick by Atsu brings in Anita. Anita pulls it back. It's the first man. Then sliced clear inside his box by Egan. They have it though on that far side. Brentford have managed to clear their lines only as far as Colback. Blue shirts get it back. Harley Dean gives it to Collard. Near side. Little 1-2 play, not the worst in the world. Now they've shifted. Best piece of play by Brentford. Almost threaded through, threaded through, and in the end, good block on Lewis McLeod's shot. The referee gets in the way, but this is undoubtedly their best period in the game. Crossing has ended up dropping to Josh Clark on this near side. Gouffran ahead of him. Gouffran looking to block and win the ball back. Does win the ball back. And ends up on his backside. If he goes behind, it'll be a corner. It is a corner, but suddenly Brentford spring to life.
Yeah, best bit of play that they had. Took too long to hit the shot, didn't he? Got the block in, but it's the best bit of play we've seen from them. Well, to be fair, it's the only little bit of play that we've seen from them.
And it is Lewis McLeod, who had that shot, who comes across to take the corner kick. Right hand side, at the Gallagher. Dean and Egan up from the back, and as I say, both got goals this season. Delivering with his right will be essentially an outswinger. Referee keeping an eye on things. Every Newcastle player back inside that 18-yard box. Keeper comes. Good take. Good take. Read the flight of the ball well. Came close to Egan. Took it over the top of him. Well played, Carl Darlow. Gives it to Lascelles. All of a sudden, sets it back there. I was going to say, thinks about a breakout of defence. And they turn and start to build from deep again. Colback to Dummett. Dummett up the line to Jose Perez. Perez with Dean coming across. Dean clears. Newcastle almost win it back through Paul Dummett before Sawyers has it for Brentford. Oh, they're a different side all of a sudden. The ball lifted over the top for Yanaris. Volley, good stop. Good stop, Carl Darlow. Well, Nico Yanaris. It's a good break from Sawyers. Ball lifted over the top. He's made the run, Yanaris. It's a nice height, it's straight at the keeper, but he still manages to make the block. He still manages to make the save. And suddenly, Brentford have had an injection of belief.
Yeah, again, just a little straight ball over the top. It's a good run. But we're caught a little bit square. Darlow's done well. He stood up big. Yeah, it's hit straight on him, but he's done well to get something on him. Not only that, he's pushed it a long way away as well. But it's been a decent 5 minutes.
Brentford ends up with a free kick for Newcastle, who, as I say, might just go back to the philosophy of attacking Brentford being their best way of defending. Under no pressure at all, but since they've gone back into working their way out from the back, Newcastle feeling that Harley Dean may well have caught White Gale. Players appealing. Referee waving them away. Jamal Lascelles, a skipper, is leading the delegation. Simon Hooper deciding he wants a word with the Newcastle skipper, but no word with Harley Dean, who, interestingly, of course, he has already booked. There may well be a factor in why he doesn't want to talk to him. Either way, it's a free kick to Newcastle, and we're into single figures in terms of minutes at the end of the first half, and John Joe Shelby just going to dink a ball in there, does so. Kieran Clark-Klein got a header on it, but he was always falling, never got any pressure on the ball, never got any purchase on the header. In the end, it's just flicked up his brow and behind for a goal kick to Brentford, which Bentley takes. But we thanked for that from John Egan, but he's got away from his man. Gives it to Ryan Woods. At far side, Bayland, now Newcastle win it back inside the centre circle. Shelby to Gouthran. Gouthran brings Dominic into play. Back again to John Joe Shelby. Sets it on its way, trying to seek out either Atsu or Anita. Did the player touch it? Clearly not. Bayland, as a result, it sailed all the way behind for a goal kick. And a goal kick which Bentley takes quickly. Gives it to Ryan Woods. Woods to Bayland, closed down by Atsu with applause for the work rate of Christian Atsu, as I say, has been away in Ghana, Uganda, South Africa. Actually get back until Thursday, Friday. But with Matt Ritchie ill, he's decided to go with the same formation as at Rotherham. Foul on Nico Gianaris by Jack Colback, and Jack Colback's going to be a yellow card and loves a card. The problem it's just you can see why. Yeah, decided that he was going no further. Jack Colback decided. As a result, it's a free kick. Again, everybody back behind the ball. Everybody ranked across the edge of the 18-yard box. Spun in there. In a clear by Anita. Given to Atsu. Atsu with the chance to run at his man. Run at it, whips the cross in again. It's too much on the cross. I'll tell you what, he's absolutely tiny. He's absolutely minuscule. He must have leg endurance. It's about the third cross. He's absolutely tanked it.
Yeah, he does great. That's a simple little thing of just sticking it into an area.
He must have been trying too hard to make sure he gets distance on the cross and gets too much on it. Here's the goal kick to be taken by Bentley. Lascelles will climb and head clear. Bounces. Gouthran looks to try and win it. Pushes it ahead of himself. Will be denied by Dean, who slides in and knocks it out of play for a throw in. Throw which Paul Dummett will take. In fact, Perez goal was chalked up for handball. What is it about this referee and handball? He sees the ones that no one else sees, and doesn't see the ones that everybody does see, i.e. at Fulham on the opening day. Here's Jack Colback, one arm away. Looks up, edge of the centre circle, wants options, hasn't got them, has to go backwards. Shelby goes backwards. Now Shelby gets it from Lascelles, leading 2-0. So rather than force the sluice gates open, they've just sort of lent on them for the half an hour since. They've really gone about trying to get a third or a fourth. And they're quite happy playing inside their own half of the field. Here's Lascelles. Now passes it straight out of play. This is getting ridiculous. But there's one thing being comfortable with a 2-goal lead. It's another thing almost stopping playing altogether.
Yeah, it got too easy, and then you get sloppy, and then you find it difficult then to raise it again.
Here's Dummett with a header, sure being pulled off him by Scott Hogan. Throw goes the way of Brentford though. Collan will take it into the chest of Hogan, tries to give it to Sawyers. That's who slid in, took more of man than ball, but because the ball was there, the referee allows it to go. Now Brentford lose it, and Anita plays it off Bayland on that far side. That'll be a throw in. There's one or two on that far side of the east.
Just get another card.
Shade there. Eyes from the sun. Those come back to the sliding challenge from Christian Atsu, which, as I say, took more man than ball, but
He always felt he would, didn't he?
again, but he fouls. It's his first foul. I mean, everybody for every bad challenge they made, regardless. They don't take that into consideration. No. There is Colback challenging. Drops for Brentford, now cleared. Picked up by Perez. Perez loses out. Feels for handball by those on the far side who are nearer the wing out. Now he pulls up Phelan for a pull on Dwight Gale. Now it's Brentford's turn to struggle to understand what this referee is all about. Not to say he's continuing in the same mould.
I'd recommend it.
He was in at Fulham. After the game at Fulham, we questioned him. No reason not to question him tonight. I mean, there's four players been booked in the game. 3 from Newcastle. There's not been one bad challenge. No. A couple of little silly ones, but nothing. Downfield from the free kick, getting cleared by Dean. Picked up by Shelby, gives it to Coleman. Coleman rolls it square to Gubbit. Back inside the centre circle to Lascelles. Lascelles to Anita. Lascelles gets it. Shelby. Now Kieran Clark. And almost as if they're running time off the clock at the end of 90 minutes, never mind the end of the opening 45. Eventually, momentarily inside Brentford territory, but now back inside their own half. Atsu gives it to Lascelles. Clip forward. Gale loses out, but may have been nudged. I think he was telling the referee that. Now a ball forward, which is helped on. Fortunately, Newcastle dealt with. Gufran to Colback. Perez trying to turn away from Woods. Does do. Perez looking to take on his man, taking off Harley Dean. Perez scoops the ball in. That's a difficult one. He's got to try and hit it with a bit of pace. He's trying to cross Shelby, but basically said, just roll it into my feet. Don't worry about the $1 billion cross. In the end, it runs behind, and Brentford take the goal kick quickly. We're into the final 2 minutes of the 45. As Joe Allen's goal scoring continues, he's got the second, Stoke 2, Sunderland 0 at the Bet365 Stadium. Now Colback intercepts. Perez could roll Gale in. It's not the best ball in the world. It had to be precise, it had to be right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even close to being right. No. Dean Turner was very, very grateful that the ball was closer to him than it was to Dwight Gale. He put a bit more on it, and it was a bit closer to Dwight Gale. And you fancy Gale to get away, but he's got the whites of the keeper's eyes. Now Gale being lent on, so he says. Leon says the referee. Now Brentford through Josh Clark, nick it to Woods. Now Sawyers forward to Clark. Hogan's in an offside position. Kieran Clark fouling Josh Clark. Clark with a knee. Fouling or fouled by Clark without the knee. It's a free kick to Brentford. One last chance for them. Here's the fourth official. 2 minutes of added on time. So this will be their last chance to get themselves back in the game. And you mind the way Newcastle played in the last 15 minutes, it will be a real sucker punch that they've almost invited onto themselves if they were to concede. Here is the free kick. Right round the back, keeper came again. It's coming a long way, got something on it. Brentford can pick it up though. Chip it forward. Gufran was nudged. It's a foul, yeah. A foul all day. It's unbelievable. He sees things, and then the absolute glaring the obvious he doesn't see. All over the top right, so Jose Perez, but he's going to get back there, turn it out of play. But it's amazing the things they see. They don't see as Barnsley and Fulham are now 2 apiece, and Oh, well, 3 in 5 minutes, as I said, that Fulham are unbeaten away from home. So Barnsley, Fulham, goal for each team as the ball is with Paul Dummett for a throw into Newcastle. Just about on the corner flag, left hand side. Mismove and then does lob it. Natsu's come across to this near side to collect it. Spins, gives it back to Joe Shelby. 30 seconds of added on time to play. Gives it to Lascelles inside the centre circle. Newcastle inside their own half of the field. Even Brandon Benitez is getting frustrated outside of his boot. Shelby's just got to go in there if they're going to have another chance, otherwise the half-time whistle will beat them. Here's Gale, gives it wide to Perez, whips the cross in. Shelby trying to climb. Natsu brings it down on his chest. Natsu's got Dummett in support, ignores him. There is the half-time whistle. Time beats Newcastle United, who have been very, very comfortable. So comfortable, in fact, that they've almost stopped playing under. Yeah, it got too easy, and then we got sloppy. But it's been a good performance. Probably should be more than the 2-1. We had chances. They really killed the game off, and you felt that it could have been dead and buried at half time. Kicking down the hill second half, you feel there's more goals in front of them than they wanted, but they've been neat, tidy. Brentford have been poor. I have to say, I expected a bit more from them, but defensively they've been all over the place. You know who this game is tailor-made for? Bearing in mind, to all intents and purposes, it's fun. They are a nightmare at the back. Yeah. You need to get goals into him. Yeah. You need to give him game time. Alexander Mitrovic. This game is absolutely crying out for Alexander Mitrovic. Yeah, because the two centre-backs are all over the place. They're leaving gaps, they're leaving holes, and they just stick it in there. You would hope that Mitrovic would get the end of it. Now, whether Benitez sees it that way or not, that remains to be seen. But look, there's definitely more goals in this game for us if we go about it the right way, and especially if we play the way that with a tempo and do the things that we did in the 25 minutes, half an hour. Without a doubt, there's more goals. And you think he'd actually be quite keen to change it, because obviously Barnsley is Tuesday night rather than Wednesday night. So it's going to come quickly, Barnes. Yeah, it is, yeah. You just think with Mitrovic having scored the 2 goals against Austria, that obviously the confidence is there and he would fancy it. And even though it's 2-0, Brentford have shown nothing, Nick, to suggest that they're capable of pulling 2 goals back. And you just, as I say, you just think that if we do what we did in the opening half hour, that we could win this game. We could win it very, very good. And the other thing you have to think about, because you have to start thinking like Rafa Benitez, you have a look at the referee's performance. You've got 3 players on yellow cards. You'd be inclined to hook one of them if you thought, and there will be every chance of a second yellow. Yeah, he's a poor referee, this guy. You made the point in coming. That hasn't been a nasty tackle. Okay, the callback one, he has hooped, and you would say, yeah, okay, you deserve a yellow card for that. But the other ones, there's been no tackles. There hasn't been any malicious tackles in the game whatsoever. And he's shown 4 yellow cards. Yeah. Well, relatively comfortable to date. Goals for Kieran Clark is second for the club. Dwight Gale has moved to 8 for the season. It'll be interesting to see whether Rafael Benitez makes any changes in the second 45. But at this moment in time, comfortable for Newcastle. They lead it by 2 goals to this.
BBC Newcastle, proud to be part of the BBC.
The law says canvases for distance. If I'm afraid to ensure I was there, Mr. Brown, teenagers to make friends ladies. Not everyone agrees. I suffer with post-traumatic stress disorder, single kind of disorder, compassion, and so on, my doctor, everything else. And in some parts of our region, the police are telling what growing early to personal users. We want to concentrate on talking to cannabis users and child sexual abuse. Thank you, Mark. Should we care about illness? Inside Out stories from the heart of Southeastern Cumbria. This week only on Friday night at 7:30 on BBC. North East Sport.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
Good afternoon, this is Matthew Racebeck in the BBC Newcastle studio. We'll be going back to St James's Park and the Bet365 Stadium for commentary on the second half of our matches today. Remember, Sunderland are on FM, Newcastle's game is on DAB at 14:58 AM. United lead Brentford 2-0. Sunderland are 2-0 down to Stoke. Let's have a look at the other scores at half-time, starting with the rest of the top flight, and it's Arsenal 2, Swansea 1 at the Emirates. Theo Walcott got 2 goals for the Gunners, with Gylfi Sigurdsson pulled 1 back. Swansea are beaten in their last 4 away to Arsenal, and they've won their last 3 visits to the Emirates Stadium. It's Bournemouth 3, Hull 1. Bournemouth took the lead on 5 minutes through a goal from Charlie Daniels. It was 1-1 though through Ryan Mason just after the half-hour mark. Steve Cook restored Bournemouth's lead 5 minutes before half-time, and then a penalty was conceded by Hull, and Bournemouth's junior Stanislas scored it. That was in the final minute of the half. So Bournemouth 3, Hull 1. Before today, Hull had lost their last 3 and conceded 11 goals in the process, and it's not going well again for Mike Phelan's team. Manchester City against Everton at the Etihad Stadium, 0-0 at half-time, but Manchester City have wasted a glorious chance to take the lead. Here's how.
Silva into the penalty area. He was crowded out by the yellow shirts. Then he seemed to have his legs taken away from him. And the referee, Michael Oliver, points to the penalty spot. Silva did ever so well, but just as he tried to cut the ball back, the legs were chopped from underneath him. De Bruyne waits. He's faced by Stekelenburg. De Bruyne runs up now, and Stekelenburg makes the save. Away to his left-hand side, and it remains 0-0.
So that's the score at half-time, with Manchester City failing to convert a penalty. The other match in the top flight, they kicked off at 3, West Brom 0, Spurs 0 at the Hawthorns. Crystal Palace against West Ham is the 5:30 kick-off, and earlier goals from Diego Costa, Eden Hazard and Victor Moses gave Chelsea a 3-0 win over Leicester.
Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
Now, Newcastle are winning 2-0 against Brentford. If the Magpies get 3 points and Norwich fail to win, Rafael Benitez's team will go to the top of the table. However, Norwich are a goal up on Rotherham at Carrow Road. It was scored by Wes Hoolahan on 17 minutes. Huddersfield, the leaders, play Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Barnsley 2, Fulham 2 at half-time at Oakwell. It's goalless between Blackburn and Ipswich. Preston are 1-0 up at Brighton through a goal from striker Jordan Hugill after 10 minutes. 0-0 between Steve McLaren's Derby and Leeds. QPR are drawing 1-1 with Reading at Loftus Road, and there are no goals in the game between Wigan and Burton. Aston Villa play Wolves at 5:30.
North East Sport.
Matthew Racebeck.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
In League 2 this afternoon, Carlisle and Hartlepool are playing each other in Cumbria, and it's the home team that have the lead. Jabo Abire, the goal scorer, on 20 minutes. If Carlisle avoid defeat, it'll be a club record 13 games unbeaten at the start of the season. Now to the FA Cup, where Gateshead are in Derbyshire. They're playing Alfreton Town, who normally compete in the division below them. That's the National League North. Paul Dixon is there for us.
Matthew, yes, it's the FA Cup tie, but somebody should tell Gateshead that it is an FA Cup tie this afternoon. They've been absolutely woeful in the first 15 minutes with all the home team without really testing the goal. Just couldn't get the ball off them, Gateshead. But then on 24 minutes they went behind. A long ball into the box, Dan Hanford, and the Gateshead goal spilled the ball. The ball fell to Adam Priestley, who played for Gibraltar International last week, fired a low shot on goal. Manny Smith blocked the shot on the line, but Paul Clayton, following up, had the easy task of just putting the ball into the corner of the net. The best chance for Gateshead is spelled the wedge over 25 yards out. Terrific shot that was saved, full length the goalkeeper going. But Neil Aspinall needs to get his team fired up for the second half. the crowd here are right behind Alfred. They need to come out the second half and do a lot better.
Thanks very much, Dicker. Sixth place, Blythe Spartans are away to third, top Hednesford Town in the Northern Premier League. That game is goalless at half-time. The other non-league match we're covering is at the top end of the Northern League. Morpeth in fourth are taking on second place South Shields. Barry Heinsohn is there.
So Morpeth Town 0, South Shields 3 at half-time. South Shields really played the more assured and progressive football at the first half. They were the first to show when John Shaw's header from our left wing corner was just over the crossbar. Then a spectacular volley by Ben Ridley produced the first of several outstanding saves by the Morpeth keeper Carl Dryden, the best of which sensationally denied Gavin Coglan from close range. Coglan, though, had his revenge when he was on hand to finish a slick Shields goal. Morpeth had their moments before Shields struck again on the half hour when a great right wing cross was met with a finely approached header by Robert Briggs. And then just before half time, what could be the killer blow when another counter attack by Shields, so Briggs feed Coglan and he had an easy task to put the ball into the net. So Morpeth, 6 wins from 6 starts today, but as far as winning this one is concerned, the words Mountain and Clyde Cup of money. At half time, it's Morpeth Town 0, South Shields 3.
Thank you very much, Barry Heinsohn, watching that game, and we'll be rounding up all of the non-league football at 5:45.
Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
In the Scottish Premiership, Aberdeen lead Ross County 2-0. Celtic are 1-0 up on Motherwell. It's goalless between Hearts and Dundee. Partick Thistle lead Hamilton by 2-1, and St Johnstone against Kilmarnock is 0-0 at the break. And Berwick Rangers are away to Stirling in Scottish League 2, and there have been no goals in the first half of that one.
This week on the show, Alfie Joy and Anna Foster at breakfast.
We celebrated as Newcastle Gateshead won the bid to host the great exhibition of the North. It's a real joy and pride in this city, but it's also about us using that looking forward. And we heard that last year there were nearly 30,000 hospital admissions for people having allergic reactions. I'm allergic to tea bags. If I make a if don't touch my hands and then touch my face, I will literally get scratch marks. I'll be more great stories of North East life all next week when you wake up. BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
Last night, Newcastle Falcons were beaten 45-0 by Ospreys in the European Challenge Cup at the Liberty Stadium. Here's Director of Rugby Dean Richards.
The finesse that we really wanted, whether it be in defence or in attack, and had we done so, they would have kept the ball a little bit longer than we did too, which would have enabled them to attack high as much. But you know, that's like, isn't it? It's a learning curve for a lot of the young boys who are out there today, and you look at the guys that they had to bring off the bench as well, people like Matabates and guys like that. I mean, it's not about squad that they've got, and the one thing you've got to say to our boys, they've got to learn from it, understand exactly what it takes to be either British line or right at the top of the tree.
Andy Murray's through to the Shanghai Masters final, where he'll play Roberto Bautista Agut. He defeated Novak Djokovic. Murray won the semi-final in straight sets against Gilles Simon. Basketball, Newcastle Eagles' unbeaten start to the season came to an end when they lost 88-78 at home to London Lions in the BBL Championship. Garden Hall and Jackman's looking to respond in next week's doubleheader against them.
If we're talking about the best of a negative, then I guess so. But the best of the best would be not to get beaten. But now that we're beaten, it's time to start our streak again. We have to get back to the lab, see what we did wrong, correct it, and then basically watch the scan report, see what they are about, finish up the job that we're supposed to do.
There'll be a phone-in after the football today on BBC Newcastle with John Anderson and Gary Bennett, and dressing room reaction as well from Stug and St James's Park. The second half of Newcastle's game, they lead Brentford 2-0, is on DAB at 14:58 AM, and Sunderland are 2 goals down at the Bet 365 Stadium. The second half of that one is on our FM.
Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
Half-time highlights.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
There's the cross from Colback. It's flat. It's in the defender and is cleared by the defender. Drops inside the centre circle. Nice kill by Anita. Gives it to Shelby. Plenty of body still in there. Shelby's cross round the back. The goal for clearing. Sells gives it to Shelby. Shelby in behind for Gale. And the clearing as far as Atson. Down to Gale. Gale turns, hits, score.
North East Sports, Nick Laws and black and white legend John Anderson.
And welcome back to St James's. No sign of the two teams for the second half here. Just having a little look at scorelines elsewhere. I don't think anybody really expected Norwich not to beat Rotherham, and that's the way it's going at Carrow Road. So they might just have to wait for top spot a little longer at Newcastle. But it'll be interesting to see. Well, interesting to hear what's been said in the dressing room down below. Here they come to the second half. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So no changes at the break, which we wouldn't expect. But as we mentioned at half time, I'd be very, very surprised if we didn't see the introduction of one or two bodies.
Yeah, I think so.
At some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think if he would have scored early in the second half, I think there's every chance that he would make a couple of substitutions, make a couple of changes just to freshen it up a little bit. But I'm not too sure whether he would be too happy at half time, Mick. You know, I think you go 2 up early on, you think you can kill the game off before half time, and we got a little bit sloppy, and I think you'll have said that to them at half time.
Well, certainly, you know, his body language and his gesticulating down in the technical area, Rafa, at least on a couple of points.
Yeah.
Just as, you know, as we were saying, just when they got sloppy on occasions, and, you know, it's all about, you know, staying focused. And the one thing that Rafa does demand, he does demand very high standards.
Yeah, especially 2-0 up, you cruise and you're in cruise control, but you can make life so much easier for yourself. You know, you can have a really, really comfortable afternoon if you go and you get the third and the fourth goal and you really kill them off before half time. We didn't do that, but it's still been comfortable. But you'd like that third goal just to put the killer on it, really.
Yeah, no changes for Brentford. Likewise. May well have caught that. I just paused. Well, 51,855 was read out. It is slightly less than the crowd against Wolverhampton Wanderers, but 51,885 the crowd this afternoon. It's an amazing crowd, and I suspect many of those Rotherham fans up in the Goths have probably never been in a bigger crowd. No, there'll be every chance that that is the case. We are underway, second half, the whole 90, live and exclusive on BBC Newcastle and at nufc.co.uk. And Newcastle are kicking their favourite way down the hill towards the Gallagher. Hopefully, it can bring a couple more goals and a more enjoyable afternoon to the majority of that near 52,000 crowd. Here's Jack Colback on halfway. Colback, Atsu and Gufran yellow carded today. Also keep an eye on Dummett, Shelby and Gale, who are all on 3 yellows. So another yellow would take them within 1 of a suspension. Downfield looking to find Scott Hogan, who we really didn't see much of in the first half. This top marksman for Brentford and top marksman in the Championship in 2016 as Atsu and Anita to try and clear their lines, can't do so. Brentford win it again, away on that far side. Collan under pressure. Dwight Gale goes off hunting Harley Dean, and eventually it goes all the way back to Daniel Bentley. In contrast to his outfield players, he is in all bright red. His outfield players all bright blue. Brentford, of course, normally play in a red and white striped shirt. As the ball is with Dwight, with Carl Darlow at the other end, who's drops it back inside his 18-yard box, collects it, gives it to Jamal Lascelles, but then goes all the way back to Carl Darlow. So we've gone back into the passing mode at the end of the first half. It's Kieran Clark caught in possession. Again, all about making life difficult for yourselves. Clear towards halfway. Brentford have it, knocking square. Picked up by John Egan. Egan gives it to Yanaris. Tried to slide it into Josh Clark. Couldn't do so. Shelby, a decent ball looking to find Atsu. Atsu's going to take on his man. Harley Dean's already on a yellow. Well, that would have been very interesting, because if Atsu had got away from him, any sort of foul, and Harley Dean is off the pitch. As it is, Atsu just didn't seem to believe he could get by him. Now he's going to have a second chance. This time holds it up, gives it to Colback. Runs away from him, just dinks it into Anita, into the feet of Gufran. Atsu's available again. Atsu, this time looking to take on his man. Stands across, a much better cross. This time he got the cross right. Whitegale keeps it in the cross on that far side, in front of the east stand. Dummett gives it to Shelby. Shelby into Colback. Colback back again to Gale. Gale square to Gufran. Tries a little back heel. It's the right idea with Perez and Gale were sniffing around, but in the end the fly hat got too much on it. Keeper can bowl it out and Brentford can have it on halfway. Right hand side. Into the middle where Hogan has it. Hogan's got a run at Yanaris. Well, Newcastle appealing that Kieran Clark was sent to the ground. The referee wanted nothing of it, but fortunately they've cleared. Atsu gives it to Perez. Perez wide to Gufran. Gufran Shelby roaming up on the outside. Man in the middle, Dwight Gale. He's offside, is he? No. No offside. Dwight Gale has got his second of the game. While John Joe Shelby just stole up on the outside. Gale was holding his run in the middle. I have to say there looked a suspicion of offside, but Shelby's pulled the ball back, and there is Dwight Gale to hold his run. Keeper is committed, keeper is nowhere, and Newcastle United have started the second just how they'd like to. We've played 49 minutes, Gale to 9 for the season. Newcastle United 3, Brentford 0.
Yeah, he was behind the ball. When the ball got played, I thought he might have been offside, but he was behind the ball. He was coming on to it. Perfect start to the second half. You would say that's it. Game, set, match.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a
great run by Shelby.
Yeah. Yeah, just roamed up on the outside of his man. Killer pass. Gale just cannot miss. Gale is on a second hat-trick as Fulham take the lead at Barnsley. Barnsley 2, Fulham 3. And Barnsley, who were 10th this morning, Fulham 15. Here at Brentford, who were 7. And they're not going to stay 7. Ball moved wide by Woods to Clark, to Colin. Collins cross. Good header behind, just kept his eye on it. Vernon Anita seemed to be a feeling that it came off the Brentford man. It would have been Lewis McLeod, but nobody else agreed, and it is a corner which McLeod can take. Left hand side, right footed, so we'll be swinging in towards Caldalo's goal. Caldalo hasn't been afraid to come and punch these. This time it's on the edge of his area. It's not a clear behind for a second corner. We're keeping an eye on it. As McLeod gets ready with the second corner kick in as many minutes. Near post, flicked on at the back post while Scott Hogan has stolen it. Hogan has got his 8th goal of the season, and it was flicked on by Sawyers at the near post. And then Scott Hogan, in a melee of bodies, has thrown himself at it. Newcastle seem to be appealing, but once Romain Sawyers got a flick on from the corner, it's all about who gets the last touch. Scott Hogan felt that he got the last touch, and within 2 minutes of Newcastle getting a third, Brentford have got their first. We've played 51 minutes. Newcastle United 3, Brentford 1.
Well, poor defended the corner kick properly. Needed one in front of that near post. It's just a flat corner kick. He just gets a little flick on it, and Hogan's just got to run. And he was brave. He stuck his head down low, got a head on it. Not too sure what Darlow was appealing about.
No, and they've only got themselves to blame
in terms of not keeping a clean sheet and winning the game. And Brentford go again. Got a throw in deep inside Newcastle territory. They were 1-0 up against Norwich before falling behind. You wouldn't imagine that they could throw away a 3-goal lead, but either way, we talked in the first half about the danger of stopping playing. That said, they have of course scored in this second half as a ball over the top invites a run from Gale, knocked out of play by Colin on that far side, or beg your pardon, Harley Dean on that far side. It's a throw-in which all Dummett can take. Dummett with options close to him. One of them is Johan Gudbrand. Gudbrand holds his markers off. Shelby rolls it wide to Anita. That's who's in space. The right idea, just intercepted by Andreas Bayland. Bayland then gives it back to Colin. Colin just dummies to clear. Then gives it to Woods. Woods to Egan. Egan will turn and play it back to his keeper. Daniel Bentley roll it out. Egan to Bayland. Bayland was actually born in Aarhus, which is of course where once upon a time Benny Christensen originated from, as the ball is knocked out of play on that far side as Brighton equalise against Preston at the Amex. Brighton in 4, 1 apiece here. A ball from the throw, crossed into the box by Josh Clark for Brentford and knocked behind by Kieran Clark for a corner kick. And suddenly Brentford, having got themselves back into it at 3-1, have another corner, but it was from a corner that they scored their opening goal, and again it's Lewis McLeod who goes across to take it. Sawyers has taken up that position towards the near post. Egan is in the middle of the goal. This will be an out swinger. Header by John Joe Shelby, edge of the area, sets up for Yanaris. Yanaris had to hit it quickly, came to him on the half volley, and just teased it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, hard one to always keep down the half volley.
Yeah.
Especially, it's coming at him sideways as well. Trying to wrap his right foot around it, always leaning back,
Always going to go up.
yeah,
Always going to go up, and went well up over the crossbar. But danger.
we just don't look solid defensively.
And also, they're suddenly very, very grateful for that third goal. Had they not come out and scored early in this second half, had it been 2-1 with the way Brentford are suddenly going about it, then you would be worried. As it is at 3-1, probably beyond them. Dwight Gale comes to make a fist of it, so too does the keeper. The keeper in the end, Bentley knocks it out of play for a throw. Throw is given back to John Joe Shelby. Happy to go all the way back to Carl Darlow. Darlow keeps an eye on it. Rafa is asking 1 or 2 questions. Jose Perez making the run in behind, but the ball from Lascelles sliced out of play. Doesn't matter whether he timed the run to perfection or not. The ball was heading one place and one place only, straight out of play. 56 minutes played at St James's. Newcastle United 3, Brentford 1. The close of John Anderson at St James's. All 19th live and exclusive on BBC Newcastle. It's the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke 2, Sunderland 0 on our FM frequencies. Here is Josh Clark away right hand side. Whips the ball in. Unfortunately, he got a bit of the Atsus about him on that occasion, because Hogan had made an interesting run in towards the near post, but the cross from Josh Clark never giving him a chance. Smashed behind. And it'll be a goal kick, which Carl Darlow will take. Hanley and Mitrovic warming up now to Mohamed Diaby as well. Brentford in the meantime look forward. It hits the heels of Hogan. A little bit of luck for Newcastle. And then Perez knocked off it by Bayland.
a throw in to United. We're 2 points worse off than they were at this stage of the 09-10 promotion and championship season. The match ball, believe it or not, the Brentford bench are having to point it out to the stewards and the ball boys. They could see it, nobody else seemed to be able to. Now the ball is with Vernon Anita. Gets it back from Dwight Gale. Gale turns his man to Colback. Colback all the way back to Kieran Clark. Clark scorer of the opening goal after 10 minutes. Here he is again. Sets it up for Gufran. Diving body. Blocked it. It was Harley Dean. Again, a little bit of overcomplication. Not too sure why Jack Holbeck didn't hit it. No. Gufran's had plenty of sighters of goals, but on that occasion blocked as John Joe Shelby gets a fantastic ovation from the corner of the East Stand and the Gallagher, feeling the love of the former Charlton and Liverpool man who already provided the cross for Kieran Clark's goal today. This time corner goes short, gets it back from Anita, thinks about the shot, drives it straight into the body of the Brentford defender. Now ball knocked all the way downfield, and Carl Darlow leaves his area ahead of Scott Hogan. Needs to get back quickly, tries and shoots from the Brentford fans. John Joe Shelby in the end had to poke the ball out of play. Interesting change for Newcastle. Grant Hanley is coming on and Jamal Lascelles is coming off. Well, Hanley, who played for Scotland every week, I think you'd have to presume it's either an illness or an injury, because it's not only a change of centre halves, of course, it's his skipper as well. He doesn't look injured, does he? I wonder whether there might be a bit of illness. I don't know. He's gone straight down the tunnel. Suggests that it's something more than purely selection. I'd say it might be a bit of illness, might be feeling a bit of an injury. Either way, as we said, once the game was won, no point risking anything, as clearance by Kieran Clark hits Josh Clark and ricochets for Carl Darlow, but safety first, clearly the option. And Grant Hanley gets an outing at centre back alongside Kieran Clark, the two summer signings who both scored at Queen's Park Rangers earlier in the season. Clark's now got to 2. Now nods the ball back to Carl Darlow, gets it back again. There is Clark, now plays it back to Carl Darlow. I want to set the pulses racing. Say,
could have been, yeah, if they'd have done it right, you could be drooling a little bit about it, but
now a ball played back to Daniel Bendy, maybe. It's all about preserving energies. Atsu to Anita. Anita return ball to Atsu, giving him a lot to do. He's at least forced Egan to get across and play it. Now it is right up the touchline. Hogan's headers drop straight to Colback, Shelby to Clark. Clark looks up. Nice ball. It's a good ball. Kieran Clark in behind Gufran. Gufran will turn and hold it up instead. Peels the other way. Gives it to Colback. Colback's cross has got plenty of air on it. Heading clear. Shelby was eyeing the shot, but then had to bring it under control. Played all the way back to halfway. Into the feet of Gufran, now back again to halfway. Colback turns, gives it to Hanley. Hanley to Shelby. Benitez pointing in the direction of a ball alone. Vernon Anita on this near touchline. Shelby will look to find it, does find it. It's a great ball. Nice ball by Anita as well, just to cushion it back to Atsu. With Woods ahead of him, gives it to Anita tries to sell McLeod a little bit of a shimmy, then wants to play a 1-2 with Perez. Perez gives it to Atsu instead. Now Perez to the dead ball line. Tried to just nutmeg Balin, but wins the corner kick. The problem is we've got no one to take corners at this minute in time. Atsu's going to have another go. He's gone long, he's gone short, he's gone wide, he's gone completely the wrong direction. So, there he goes again, this time right side. And the Gallagher, left-footed. Comes to spin it in. It's now Jose Perez. He's going to go close to him. They're going to work that opening again. Well, this time, it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Perez thinks he's going to go on the loop. So, yeah, and he's in space as well. So, but then Atsu shifts back the other way into an offside position, and Perez gets it in. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Silly, really silly. They obviously don't want to stick it in there. They don't want to put it in there and let him go and let somebody go and attack it, because everyone that tried to walk short, well, that was just poor.
Yeah, Lewis McLeod is off, and Sully Kaikai is on. A lot of people think a fair amount off Sully Kaikai, because the ball is downfield, deep inside Newcastle territory. It's only 21 years of age, on loan from Crystal Palace. So they do think a lot of him at Palace. Throw into Newcastle in the meantime. It's with Gouffran. It's Gouffran trying to thread it forward as Brighton turn it round and now lead 2-1 against Preston. Anita drops it onto Perez. Perez whips a good ball in first time, but unfortunately straight at a marker. So trying to catch them unawares. Good early ball, yeah, it was Bayland. Ball looked through judgment on the spot to clear it, throw in. Play given to Perez. Perez then plays it off Woods. Newcastle have themselves a throw in on this, virtually on the corner flag, next to the post itself. Perez to there. Virtually Anita wins it back. Atsu back to Shelby. Shelby rolls it into Kieran Clark as the last man, close to halfway, forward to Gouffran. Shelby then looks up. Shelby forced away by Brian Woods. Gives it to Paul Dummett. Carlback lets it run across his body, well played. Nice ball as well. Dinked in there for Atsu. Lets it bounce, but still brings it under control. Slides it into Perez. Perez hits it low down.
Saved to get hold of it, did he?
Saved it by the keeper. But again, too easy for Newcastle.
Yeah, they're not getting close. They're standing off, giving you all the room in the world. Should have done a bit better, actually, Perez. Not nothing on the shot now.
They've got down to make it, but haven't really fired it. They've been better off trying to fire it across goal. And plenty of bodies in there. Here's Brentford moving out from the back. Sawyers into the feet of Kaikai. Wide it goes now into Hogan. Good challenge. Right at the last. Kieran Clark sliding in, but Scott Hogan was about to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst ball in the world. Slid down the line. Did well, Clark, to get something on it. It's at the expense of a corner, though.
Corner kick right hand side. McLeod is off the pitch. The man who's been taking the corners, one of which was the one that they scored, of course, but on this occasion it will be taken right hand side. Everybody just about in there. Ball rears up and is volleyed clear at the end by Vernon Anita. Knocked back in again from distance by Josh Clark, headed down. Needed to be cleared by Kieran Clark. It was cleared, and now Harley Dean sends it wide. The spin of the ball takes it away. Scott Hogan, though. And it'll be a throw into Newcastle, just about level with their own penalty spot, taken by Vernon Anita. Hanley to Clark, all the way across to that left-hand side, east-hand side. Paul Dummett then gives it back to Clark. Clark sends it on its way. Finds Anita, it's a great ball by Clark. Anita trying to find Atsu. Right idea, but just didn't get enough on it. Needed to bend it, if possible. Couldn't do so. Now Shelby wins it back. And then Kai loses out. There's a throw in to Brentford. We're 3/4 of the way through the game, so the substitutions that we thought Benitez might employ, he has another than Hanley on for Lascelles, which we can presume is either illness or injury. Fulham get a fourth at Barnsley. Barnsley 2, Fulham 4. That away record, unbeaten away record for the Cottagers is intact still. As Norwich get a second, and they will surely now beat Rotherham, who haven't won a single game or drawn a single game away from Norwich. Will move top of the table this evening. Ball forward. Here is ball wide to Ianaris. Ianaris into 12. Tries to find Kai, who was cleared in the end by Newcastle. Brought down and played up the line by Egan. Knocked out of play for a throw, which Valen takes. Hogan, nice turn to get away from his marker. Hogan inside the area. Great defending by Kieran Clark. Well played, Kieran Clark. Hogan had gone down. Feeling for the penalty, not given. As Jordan Hanley far too easy. Yeah, he did. And so Perez down below. Perez gets a little bit of a nick, and the ball is out of play. Newcastle need to freshen it up, and I think that's the instruction that's coming from Rafa Benitez. Here is Anita up the line to Perez, who's done some good things, but has frustrated a little. Here is Ansu to Anita. Back again to Colback. Man City 1, Everton 1 in the Premier League. Here is Paul Dummett. Dummett is picked up by Sawyers. Sawyers has dropped it off. Also in the Premier League, I think. I'll come back to that as the ball is not square. Picked up by Egan. Egan gives it to Valent. On halfway, Kai. Now, it's with Sawyer's tried to work the ball between himself and Kai. Couldn't do so. Now the Andre Yedlin's coming in. Now a bit of petulance being shown by Romain Sawyers. Not a wise thing to do, you just know it with this referee. And Sawyers is going to be booked for the back chat. Gated at 2-0 down in the FA Cup to Alfred. It's like their FA Cup dream is over. Christian Atsu is off here, and DeAndre Yedlin, not surprised, goes on. Atsu, as I say, has been travelling all week, and it's amazing. He probably lasted the 75 minutes he has, and Yedlin, who can play, of course, right side midfield or fullback, goes in ahead of Vernon Anita. Will at least provide some extra energy in these final 19 minutes. Ball forward in the meantime by Brentford, who are keeping going. Wide it goes from Josh Clark, up the line to Hogan. Hogan beaten to it by Paul Dummett. Dummett clears. Woods waits for it to drop. It's pitched off him by Jose Perez on that far side. Just about seen the ball run forward, and now the ball is away from him. Now, Hadley was there, but so too, fortunately, was Ryan Woods. Woods is going to be booked. Had it been Harley Dean, he
a referee and a judge to have nailed him. It would have been good night Vienna, but Jose Perez somehow managed to get it out from his feet between tangled legs and eventually drew the free kick.
Yeah, he did well. He did well. I mean, Brentford yet again let the ball bounce.
Yeah.
Once they let it bounce, they were always in trouble. Free kick dangerous situation. Fancy Shelby.
Well, it's exact same situation to the one in the first half, which, as you said at the time, I'm surprised he didn't have a go at, and it looks like he's going to have a go at this one, rather than the one in the first half, which Jack Colback crossed in. This time towards that left corner, Shelby's going to drive it, bends it over the top of the crossbar, well over the top of the crossbar as well, never ever threatening the goal as Brentford look to make another change. And, Johan Barbet is going to come on. Police will rotate their full squad as Sam Jones pulls one back from Gateshead, so maybe that FA Cup dream isn't over just yet. Barbet is a Frenchman signed from Bordeaux B as Rotherham pull one back against Norwich, so maybe not over there yet either. Here, I need to knock some more square to Gale. Gale slides one in. Well, just trying to play in unselfishly. Jose Perez. I think he had every right to have a shot. He's on a hat trick, but maybe fancy just playing in Perez, but too close to the keeper. And Brentford can clear their lines and now make the change. Barbet is on and Andreas Weiland is coming off. And looks like he's going to drop straight in at left back. Johan Barbet. And it will be, in the meantime, a throw in on the halfway for Newcastle from the Brentford clearance. Knocked up the line. Gale turns and trips the ball forward. Again, Perez is the target. This time, knocked clear by Brentford. Nodded back in again. Header on the ball. Drops loose. Woods has it. Two redheads at it. Colback and Woods. Goes back to Dan Bentley. And not clear. Shelby helps it on his way. Perez can't maintain possession of the ball. Now Shelby will intercept the poor ball by the substitute. Barbet. It's his first pass and he gives it straight to John Joe Shelby. Now back with Grant Hanley. Hanley gives it to Carl Darlow. Newcastle lead it by 3 goals to 1, 2-0 up in the space of 16 minutes through Clark and Gale in the first half. 4 minutes into the second, Gale gets his second, and Newcastle's third within a couple of minutes. Scott Hogan heads home what may end up being a consolation for Brentford as they're going to use their third substitute as I speak, and Vernon Anita can't find Jose Perez. DeAndre Yedlin went on a flying run forward as well, but it's Brentford, the visitors, who have it. Give it to Barbet. Back he goes to Egan. Egan square to Harley Dean, skipper. Dean gives it back to Egan. Now Barbet on halfway as Gateshead equalise against Alfred. Alfred 2. Gateshead 2. Fantastic comeback for the Tynesiders, who will be hoping to keep their FA Cup dreams alive late on in Derbyshire at Alfred Town. Little dummy here on halfway for Brentford, picked up by Egan. Given to Barbet into Sawyers. Sawyers turns, he's got support from Yanaris, goes through the middle. Here's Josh Clark. Josh Clark thinks about the cross, dillied and dallied. In the end, Gouffran got his body between man and ball. Wins a free kick. Again, as
Never been any question about it, but you can see why he likes him in this division, Johan Gouffran. Yes, he certainly doesn't shirk out of anything.
No. Again, he's put in a decent one right in. Make another substitution. It's all got very flat, hasn't it?
Alan McCormack is on, Yannaris is off. McCormack, who did start last time out for the midfield player, to straight swap. In the meantime, there'll be a free kick which Carl Darlow can take for that foul on Johan Gouffran. Sends it downfield. Flipped on by Gouffran. Can't find a black and white shirt. Hanley, the Brentford bench felt fouled Scott Hogan. Right under the nose of the referee, who says no. It goes all the way back to Carl Darlow to Hanley. Now Shelby gives it to Darlow. Darlow under a bit of pressure. Sawyers. 3/4 the length of the field. Nodded back in. Hanley to Clark. Just popped up off the head of Dwight Gale, whose boots then were raised, but so too was the head stooping of Woods. Now Anita a ball over the top of Yedlin. It's a good ball as well. Will Yedlin take him on? Holds it up. For DeAndre Yedlin, good cross. Headed back towards his own goalkeeper.
Didn't know about it.
Collan, yeah, exactly. It sort of hit him as much as anything. I think he thinks, well, this will at very worst go behind for a corner, but as it is, it popped up. And his keeper was able to claim the headed back pass, so to speak. Now downfield, Hogan in behind. Hanley gets there with it. Hogan holds it up, gives it to McCormack. McCormack wide on that far side. Once again with Ryan Woods. Woods to Josh Clark. He's here. Put the ball away. There's been a host of errors in the game. Back he goes to Paul Dummett. Now Kieran Clark. Clark gives it away. Not too sure why he felt he needed to do that. There was a marker right on DeAndre Yedlin. At the end he passed it straight to the marker. McCormack. Now Brentford have got it back again. I think while they're winning 3-1, Rafa will be pleased with that side of things, but don't believe for a minute he'll be pleased with the performance of his side. Here's Hanley. Gives it to Yedlin. Yedlin to Shelby. Shelby into Colback. Colback slides it into Gale. Gale back to Clark. Now Colback. Gouffran. Newcastle playing kick ball. Leading 3-1 with just over 9 minutes to play. Presumably either the exertions of travelling away with Serbia, or maybe he's keeping Alexander Mitrovic for Tuesday night at Barnsley. Either way, I did feel sure that he might use him second half, but no sign of the big surplus. So Sawyers has it full. Brentford gives it to McCormack. Now they'll go all the way back inside their own half. And they trail 3-1. Forward, looking to find Hogan. Tried to just lay it off for Josh Clark, but couldn't get enough on it. And it runs straight through to Carl Darlow. Darlow bowls it out to left back Paul Dummett. Dummett back to Kieran Clark. Downfield he goes. Header on the ball by Gouffran. Straight to Brentford. Brentford have it. Woods clipping forwards. Sonny Kai was off after him, but Darlow. So a decent gaming goal, I have to say.
Yeah, somebody's had to do it.
Yeah, you look at the positives, and I think, everybody's had a little bit of positive and a little bit of negative. He's probably had more positives than most this afternoon, Carl Darlow.
Yeah, he's been positive in everything that he's done.
Yeah.
He's made his mind up. He come across as he didn't come and stop. He came all the way. Made a couple of good catches. Had no chance with the goal. Now,
All down the line. Picked up by Newcastle on halfway. Well, they are going to make one last substitution. Newcastle. It's Akraf Lazar who's going to come on. The Moroccan watches on as a little thick like Gouffran finds Gale. Gale squared to Gouffran. Gale comes onto it straight to the keeper. Good hit. Yeah, nice work between Gouffran and Gale. They give each other a thumbs up. He hit it as clean as a whistle. The only problem was it was straight at the keeper, but
Probably does too well, to be fair.
yeah, nice work between the two of them.
Yeah, good little link-up plays. He's knocked it into Gouffran, who's just then left it. He's coming on to a Gale, and as I say, probably hit it too well. Straight down the throat of the keeper. Good hit on
Brentford moving to halfway. Square it goes to Barbet. Now on this near side.
substitute's done his groin.
Yeah, Akraf Lazar still waiting to come on. Now he can come on as Vernon Anita knocks it straight out of play. Will it be a straight swap? No, it's not. It's Johan Gouffran who's going to come on. And yeah, he's going to essentially do what he did down the right-hand side a few moments ago. And that's put a full-back into an advanced position. Left side of midfield, you'd imagine. Akraf Lazar. On he comes, and Gouffran, who's another one who's had more positives than negatives.
Yeah, you can see why he likes him. You know, he's got a good attitude. Doesn't give anything up. Closes people down.
Brentford slinging it away on that far side. Lazar close to it, so too Paul Dummett. So too Jack Colbert just couldn't stretch up with the ball. Brentford have it back. Brentford have it right outside. Crossing to the area, headed by Kai, couldn't get it up on it. McCormack's ball in, headed clear this time by Dummett, and then helped on his way towards halfway and needed to do so as well. Just over 5 minutes of the 90 remaining. They lead it 3-1. It's been comfortable, but they haven't really hit the heights as the ball goes back from Brentford to Bentley, the keeper. Then back it goes to Collard, headed down by Kieran Clark, cleared by Paul Dummett. But out of play on that far side in front of the east stand for a throw-in to Brentford, who will be losing only their second game in 8. Newcastle will be 1 defeated 12 in all competitions, providing nothing silly happens. Cross is blocked by Brentford. Colin got down that line, and it was Dummett who made the block. Take the throw themselves, picked up by Josh Clark. Akraf Lazar and Paul Dummett all over Clark, and in the end Dummett plays it off the Brentford player. That's a throw in to Newcastle. No great hurry to pick it up and take it. In the end it's a Brentford player who tosses it in the general direction of Paul Dummett, who winds one up, gets a bit of distance on it. Lazar helps it on its way, but helps it out of touch for a throw in, and a throw which Brentford will take, but are in no great hurry to take. It's played back inside the centre circle. Here is Ryan Woods. Now Newcastle winning back. Anita's got bodies ahead of him. Played into Dwight Gale. Gale gives it back to Yedlin as Yedlin and Anita just switch position for a second, but they've gone back to playing it across the back four. All back to Lazar. Back to Paul Dummett. Dummett all the way back to Carl Darlow. Darlow's touch was a little bit heavy, got there ahead of Hogan, but had to knock it out of play at the end for a throw in.
Just got away from him a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah. It's the lower tier of the east stand. We're into the final 3 minutes of a game that will take Newcastle to 25 points. There is ball down the line by Barbet. It's played into centre midfield with Woods.
hits one with his right, and Cardano just made sure, got across well enough and covered it. Yeah, Paul is clearing that left hand upright as we look. And a goal kick which Darlow will take. Barnsley, our destination on Tuesday night. Look like they're going to be beat by Fulham. That will be only a second home defeat for Barnsley. Newcastle to come on Tuesday. Knocked down by Gale. Tried to find Yedlin. Marley Dean finds Barbet into Egan. Egan gets away from his man, but the referee felt that there was an errant leg from Jose Perez. Now a little bit of afters between Egan and Dwight Gale. The referee wants to have a word with the two of them. Dwight Gale rather looking up into the eyes of John Egan. Look at this one. I don't know whether Egan felt that, or thought that it's York, but Gale who caught him. But it must be Perez who caught him. Ball is back with the free kick with the keeper. Norwich have got a third to make it safe at Carrow Road, so Norwich 3-1 up against Rotherham, Newcastle 3-1 up here against Brentford. So that might be the way it finishes at both Carrow Road and St James's Park for the top two. They will be the top two in the division tonight because Huddersfield don't play till tomorrow. Here is Barbet, ball forward, cleared by Kieran Clark. It's another good game of centre back, and he's forming a decent partnership there with Lascelles, who's had to go off, we think, for precautionary reasons. But Clark's certainly making it difficult for Rafa Benitez to leave him out. Now Shelby bends the ball in behind around that far side to Lazar. Lazar does a step over, pulls it back onto his left, drives it. It's deflected and behind for a corner kick.
I think he's doing the jump inside out.
Yeah. Now the fourth official is ready. Now Shelby and Harley Dean are having a bit of a set too. 5 minutes of added on time, says the fourth official. I can't for the life of me think, where have you got 5?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, last week at Rotherham, fair enough, there were all sorts of stoppages and there were 6 minutes, but 5 minutes of added on time. But for the substitutions, it barely did a stoppage in the game. I can't remember the physio being on at all in this second half for any amount of time. The ball eventually is played away to the corner quadrant. The referee wants to work with Shelby and Harley Dean, and now that he's done his duties, the referee can get on with a game of football. Corner kick left hand side. Lazar takes it short. He wants it back. He's not going to get it back. He's going to try and hold it in at that corner flag. Well, we played 1 minute of the 5 minutes added on, but we want to be out at that corner flag for the next 4 minutes. There's Brighton been pegged back by Preston at the Annex. Brighton 2, Preston 2. Throw-in is taken here. As Gateshead draw 2-2 at Alfred. Great point. So, well, I said point, it's a replay, of course. But a great comeback, considering they were on their way out of the FA Cup. But live to fight another day, and often on those sorts of situations, do cup runs get bored. Here's Jose Perez just holding up his man, but the referee says there's no advantage when there's all the advantage in the world to play.
Yeah, he's a great referee as well, honestly. He's a nightmare. Oh, he's an absolute job for a referee.
Perez has been pulled. We all know Perez, but he's got the ball off to Yedlin. Yedlin's free down the right hand side. He brings it back for the free kick, quickly taken. Perez sits a man up, now drives it. Oh, dear me. How's it missed the bar post and the target itself? Just twisted and turned. Jose Perez fired one across, but in the end it skids past a
behind for a goal kick. We played 2.5 of the 5 minutes added on. And Brentford have it. Egan sends it all the way downfield, but it'll be easy meat for Carl Darlow. Darlow drops the ball. Sunderland have been beaten 2-0 at Stoke City. Stoke 2, Sunderland 0. Joe Allen with both goals. Here's Dwight Gale looking for another hat-trick. Gale slides it in, picked up by Perez again, wide of that far post. Just needs to he just needs to adjust the sights on his rifle. He just dragged it, as he did with the previous one. And again, Dan Bentley has a goal kick to take. This time knocks it short to Johan Barbet. Up the line it goes. Hogan heads down, but only as far as Colback. Colback then gets a ball back from Yedlin, which doesn't do him too many favours. Woods looks to bend the ball in, headed clear by Grant Hanley. With John Joe Shelby gives it away. It's picked up. Not too many times. He hasn't. Here's Woods. Woods looks up. Newcastle with 8 back behind the ball, defending a 3-1 lead. Here is Woods. Sends it to this near side and Sawyers. Sawyers with Vernon and Anita coming to him. Clips the ball in there, headed clear. And then on the chest, inside the area of Brentford player. And then a chance again for Woods. Well, he had a little sighter of goal a few minutes ago on the opposite side. This time sliced it wide. Wide of that right hand post it goes. Going back to Scott Hogan, I haven't really seen an awful lot of him. It's been a mixed afternoon for him and his brother. His brother, captain of Gateshead, had come back from 2-0 down to fight on in the FA Cup. Meanwhile, brother Scott here, yes, he scored a goal, but he's had no service, no chance to show what he can do. Newcastle always in control without really putting Brentford to the sword. Scored goals at important times. Too early on, 4 minutes into the second half, and they're now just seeing out the game. The referee says it was a pull by Hogan, even this late on, and now he blows an end to proceedings. Dean Smith shakes the hand of Rafael Benitez and Newcastle United. Well, we talked about it beforehand, Nando, and basically said, like so many of these championship games, if you set about it properly, if you do it properly, then you'll probably win the game. Yeah. And that's just about what happened.
Yeah, they started well. Brentford, I expected a bit more of Brentford, if I'm perfectly honest. I thought Brentford were poor. I thought we could have made it an awful lot. Wrapped the game up an awful lot sooner than we did. I mean, the third goal really killed the game off. They got one back, but it was a comfortable afternoon. Without us really being sparkling again. Yeah. You know, some decent stuff at times, but on the way said, hey, I'll tell you what, we were brilliant today. Yeah. But it's another 3 points on the board. It's another game chalked up. It's another one out of the way. And it's another win on the board.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, is there a need for that?
No,
there's not really, is there?
No, look, the main objective at the start of the season was we had enough games to get you out of this division. It didn't matter what the performances was like. You know that take the QPR game out of it, you know, and there hasn't been too many sparkling performances. There's been wins, and at the end of the season, that's all you care about is getting wins under your belt, winning football matches and getting out of the division.
Gale's got himself a couple of goals. Shelby again driving the team forward. You know, he is very much the leader now.
Yeah, Shelby was great today. You know, his range of pass, he knocked it short, he knocked it long. He was excellent. Tom Clark at the back played well. Gale obviously got himself a couple of goals. You know, it was a good performance. Yeah. You know, it was a good all-round performance. You scored 3 goals, you won the game comfortably. Never ever in danger of not winning the game, to be quite honest.
Decent afternoon's work done at St James's. It has finished Newcastle United 3,
Brentford 1.
Total Sport on the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live. BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
And this is Matthew Raisbeck in the studio. Give us a call now. The number is 0191 232 6565. 0191 232 6565. Gary Bennett, former Sunderland captain, and the former Newcastle defender John Anderson will be with us for the next 40 minutes or so to talk to you about today's games. Sunderland beaten 2-0 by Stoke at the Bet365 Stadium. Newcastle up to second in the Championship after a 3-1 home win over Brentford. You can also text us. The number's 81333. Just start the message with the letters BBC, tweet at BBC Newcastle, and the title of our Facebook page where you can leave a comment is BBC Newcastle Total Sports. As well as lots of your calls, we'll get post-match reaction from St James's Park and from Stoke between now and 6. Here's the number again. Give us a ring, we'll get your details, and then we'll give you a call back. You can talk to Ando and Benno. 0191 232 6565. And we'll go to the phones after a roundup of today's full-time scores, which is
Total Sport. BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Linda's
The stage is absolutely magnificent, where James May will be.
really excited, waiting for the concert. Here come the runners, breathtaking.
And there is the start of the 7th Kielder Marathon. This is the great old run on BBC Newcastle. Unbelievable sight.
BBC Newcastle, live at the best events in 2016.
North East Sport.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
And Sunderland are 4 points from safety in the Premier League following that defeat. Just 2 points from their 8 matches for David Moyes' bottom of the table team. 0191 232 6565. And Newcastle United on 25 points now, 1 behind Norwich, who have gone top of the Championship. Huddersfield, the leaders at the start of today, play tomorrow. Do get in touch with us. Text 81333. Start the message with BBC. Let us know what you made of today's games and what you think of the impact of that result against fellow strugglers Stoke has had on Sunderland's chances of getting out of trouble. Let's have a look at the other scores now. And earlier today, Chelsea beat Leicester 3-0 in the Premier League. Arsenal have won 3-2 against Swansea. A fairly close game, seemingly. Arsenal 2-0 up through goals from Theo Walcott. Gylfi Sigurdsson pulled one back. Then Mesut Ozil made it 3-1. Swansea got another goal, though, to make it 3-2. And then Granit Xhaka was sent off for Arsenal. So 10 men, but Arsenal held on, gets 3 points at home. What about this scoreline at Bournemouth? It was 1-1 after 34 minutes against Hull. Charlie Daniels opening the scoring for the home team. Ryan Mason equalised. It's ended Bournemouth 6, Hull 1. 6-1. Steve Cook, Junior Stanislas with a penalty, and then another one after half time. Callum Wilson got a 5th for Bournemouth, and former Newcastle player Dan Gosling, 2 minutes before the end of the 90, made it 6-1. That's a thumping win for Eddie Howe's team. Manchester City 1, Everton 1. Scoreline doesn't really tell the whole story, though. Romelu Lukaku put Everton in front on 64 minutes. The equaliser came 8 minutes later from Nolito, but Martin Stekelenburg saved 2 penalties for Everton. Kevin De Bruyne had his spot kick denied in the first half, and then Sergio Aguero had one saved in the second half. So Everton's keeper, the hero there, as they pick up a very good point against the leaders, Manchester City. And Spurs equalised late against West Brom and finished 1-1 at the Hawthorns. It was the former Spurs player, Nasser Chadli, who gave Baggies the lead on 82 minutes. Dele Alli levelled it up a minute from time. At 5:30, Crystal Palace are at home to West Ham.
Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
So as I mentioned, Newcastle's win takes them up to second in the Championship behind Norwich, who won 3-1 at home to Rotherham. Elsewhere in the second tier today, Barnsley 2, Fulham 4, Blackburn and Ipswich drew 0-0. Brighton 2, Preston 2, Derby under Steve McLaren having returned to the iPro Stadium in the week, recorded a 1-0 victory over Leeds. QPR and Reading drew 1 apiece. Both goals came in the early part of the first half, and it finished goalless between Wigan and Burton. Aston Villa are at home to Wolves at 5:30.
North East Sport.
Matthew Raisbeck.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East.
In League 2, Carlisle United have beaten Hartlepool by 3 goals to 2 in what looks like an entertaining game. Carlisle also played for the final 35 minutes with 10 men, and that's a club record, 13 games unbeaten at the start of the season for the Cumbrians. Now to the FA Cup, the final qualifying round, where Gateshead have come from 2-0 down in Alfreton to earn a replay, Paul Dixon.
Well, I just get my breath here, Matthew. Yeah, 2-0 to the final score. Gateshead weren't good the first half, and they went behind on 24 minutes. A long ball into the box, goalkeeper down half, spilled the ball fell out to Adam Christie. He played a low shot. Manny Smith blocked it on the line, but Paul Clayton followed up and took the ball into the net, 1-0 at half time. And the game didn't really come alive until 15 minutes from time. And it was Claude Westgard who got on the end of it, and Liam Hogan's back pass, Westgard going around the goalkeeper to slot the ball into the empty net to make it 2-0 for Alfreton. And it looked as though it was all over then. But then Sam Jones, 3 minutes later, who had a sensational game, pulled the goal back, threw the ball and just slopped it into the corner of the net. And then 2 minutes later, Sam Jones with an unbelievable goal, one of the candidates for goal of the season, 25 yards out, chested it down and left foot volley high into the roof of the net.
They are black jeans. It's over, I'm sure no one's watching. It's there on the next screen.